Knight b6.
We probably still play rook b2.
Can we go rook b2? And if queen f5, can we take everything and go a4?
Yeah, we take a4. I think we absolutely...
Aren't we winning? Because takes,
well,
we got check.
In that position, we are doing very well, I think. But I'm pretty sure black is not forced to make all of these moves. He probably should have some other options.
Wow, did you see Nepomniachtchi's mug? There's a giant cat on that mug. Peter told us he also has a real cat. What's the cat thing with Jan Nepomniachtchi?
Likes cats. He's a human being. I don't know what.
You have cats, don't you, Peter?
No, I would like to have cats, but I'm extremely allergic to everything that moves. So I don't actually have cats or dogs.
Tanya's into dogs.
We would have a small zoo here if me and the piano playing child were not as horribly affected by the allergy.
Have you checked if you're allergic for tigers? Like small tiger zoo is a bit of a thing these days. we
am well aware. Yes, it was my dream growing up to have a large cat. We have this. It's called the big Soviet encyclopedia. It's like 50 volumes of knowledge. The edition we have on our shelves, well, had in my parents' house, was I think circa 1955-ish, and I had all the large cats bookmarked, and that was my absolute dream growing up to one day own like a cheetah. But it's when there's 4 of you living in a 50 square meter flat, that dream is not likely to be realized.
Wow.
That's just heartbreaking.
Heart-wrenching.
But it's not too late, Peter.
Meanwhile, there are some big dogs in this tournament, let me tell you. Fabiano Caruana versus Ding.
So who is he a dog against?
No, as in big dog, as in, you know.
As in let the big dog eat, not in underdog?
As in, exactly. Has Fabi's position improved?
What happened here? There was some weirdness.
Yeah, he played queen f2, and Ding played knight f4, I think expecting that bishop takes e4 will work, and probably actually blundering bishop a7. I'm pretty sure this is what happened. He thought he will have bishop takes e4 here, and then he realized it does not quite work out. Although I still think bishop takes d3 and bishop takes f1 in that position is maybe better than what he got, because what he has now is just a position of seemingly a full pawn down. And the same tactic continues here. He goes rook b1, and once again you cannot take on e4 because bishop a7.
Why can't I take on b2?
There's probably something tactically wrong with it. I don't know. Takes knight a5 maybe is very strong.
Come on, Fabi.
Although you can go bishop c8 or bishop a8 there. Yeah, maybe not this. Maybe something else. I don't know. But it hasn't been played, and now it seems like Fabi just stabilized and is quite comfortably better, right? Because the knight got rerouted to g3, and he pushed the pieces back. And
isn't that great? We have bishops. E5,
yeah, I mean, there's always going to be compensation, but it is a pawn.
Yeah. And as we were taught in the Russian school of chess, pieshka. But a pawn is a pawn. I mean, we take the pawn here all day, don't we?
Yeah, e5, black takes twice. I would like to play bishop c1 just to play b3 next. And if I do get b3, if I push the knight away from c4,
He's going to go bishop c1.
It has to be quite unpleasant for black.
What was that? Pieshka? Peter, can you confirm that's the thing?
Well, you do have to add some more words into the mix there, but yeah.
I grew up in the Spanish school of chess. There was more fiesta.
That's the R. Kelly school of chess, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the R. Kelly school is closed these days.
Yeah.
Yeah, He goes with the other option, which is also quite attractive, playing bishop c5 here instead of taking on d5. For the time being, black preserves both of his bishops, but one of them probably will get traded next move. So I quite like this.
Yeah, this is quite funky as well.
Yeah, that's actually, it seems like a more harmonious option than the one I was espousing.
Tanya, how's it in India when you're starting out as a chess player? Do you go to the local chess club? Do you get a coach? How does stuff work there?
We've got a lot of local coaches here, so there are some academies as well, but it kind of all depends on how serious you are about the game or how much time you want to really invest in it. We also have chess in school, so normally it just starts at home with, you know, a parent being interested. And then you could have a local academy. For example, in Chennai, where Ramesh is from, there are lots of really great local academies. Where I'm from, in Delhi, there's a lot more get coach at home sort of a culture. So it just kind of depends which city you're from and how serious you are. If you just want to play chess as a hobby, then chess in schools is also an option. So with so many options, I think that's the reason why so many kids take up chess in India.
And they're all good.
And some of these kids, like Nihal, let's face it, he just plays all day online, right? They don't even need a local academy anymore.
Yeah, in fact, I was talking to Nihal's coach, and he has a very interesting way of training. He actually, you know, when he's working on an opening, he just played thousands of Blitz games online. Like if he wants to check an opening with some with an account which nobody would know, and that's how he just practices and prepares his repertoire, like just playing lots of Blitz games.
Yeah, and in the meantime, it seems like Jan is under severe pressure here. He will be kind of surviving after a5 knight. Oh, knight a8. I expected knight c8, but knight a8 is, yeah. You start thinking white might have a forced win here. I don't see it yet, but it would not surprise you in the slightest if he did, right?
Feels like that candidate's game all over again, no? This bishop.
Yeah, it looks actually very similar to what happened in their game in Yekaterinburg.
Is he going to give this nonsense up at some point, because he's just getting like ropey positions?
Yeah, check knight c7, rook bishop c1. How do you even survive against that? I'm very curious.
Really bad. It's better he gets.
Yeah, if king c6, I do have a6, which it's important, but not that difficult. Maybe here you can play something like queen c2, bishop a3, and something. Maybe now after knight f5 you are somehow miraculously alive. Yeah, the queen is somewhat cut off on g4. Maybe this is not as bad as I thought.
Can we play?
There's also a very cute option right now of playing. I was knight g6 specifically, but unfortunately I think black doesn't take with the pawn. I wanted to go knight g6, fg, rook b7, check.
And take on
knight c7, rook c7. Yeah. King c7, queen e6, and pretend I'm some kind of an old master. But the thing is, I think knight takes g6 is what happens on move 27. You don't tell. Yeah, queen d6 check and d6. I have a feeling this might actually be correct, for all we know. The queen on h7 is just so incredibly stupid that this might work out. But the problem is, I think black takes with the knight on g6 and then the queen, and all of my tremendous.
Too much talent.
Yeah, and actually this is kind of threatening enough. Let's check if it works without knight. Let's check if knight takes e6 here wins. It's obviously a hugely worse version for white because the queen is alive on h7, but there is an outside chance this is still good.
So many options. Queen f5 is a bit sad.
Nah.
Yeah, queen f5,
what if
but you might have
queen
to.
b1, queen b1, queen b7 at the right moment? And
yeah, that might be okay. Yeah, that might be okay. And here you have queen b1, queen b7. This also even queen b8 if I play king h2, which is even sadder.
Yeah,
that probably kills off. That's why you want that queen locked in by its own pawn on g6. But yeah. But it's a cute idea, so I think it's worth mentioning. But does not seem to actually work out. And Maxim actually starts a kind of a slow and laborious process of bringing the queen over to a4 or somewhere like that. So he's basically saying black has no counterplay, and I have all the time in the world here to do my things. I don't know if it's true. After queen d1 here, we can even play rook b8 and then return the knight to c6, and then the queen will come out.
Mm.
It will have the f5 square, and the b1 square will have to be monitored constantly. He goes rook queen a1, but I think it doesn't change very much. We can still go rook b8 here. This is now very unclear. Because I think these endgames in general, like if black, queen a3.
That's what he wants to do. He wants to sneak in.
That's very smart.
A3,
takes queen. Yeah. I think takes queen a3 probably not.
No, probably this happened.
This is still very dangerous for black, because obviously if it lands on d6, it presents huge problems. Can we? No, knight b5, queen f8 wins. This could still be very bad for black.
Yeah,
this is very, very smartly played by Maxim.
But if black just, when you go queen d6 or queen, for example, if I just move my king right now to probably do e8,
and then knight ba6 or something, yeah.
Yeah, and then knight ba6.
But then imagine that I have enough time to somehow play bishop c1, bishop a3. I currently don't, because I have queen b1, yeah. But if I can,
queen b1 then. So queen b1, or king. Where would you want to go with your king? To h2, right?
Yeah, you always play queen b1 or queen c2 anyway. Yeah, I don't know which one is stronger. Maybe even c2.
But I feel it was a lot worse for black actually than it is right now, with the rooks off the board.
It's possible, yeah, but
can I take a pawn? I just want a pawn. You probably don't even give me a
queen
g8. Whoa!
What?
That's something we did not consider properly, but it might
probably
be
a good move.
It might be okay, yeah, because he just wants to defend passively for now.
So queen d6, queen c8, and you want
c8, and then he wants I don't know, queen e8. At some point, maybe he will start threatening knight b5. Who knows? But mainly, he's just saying, as long as I don't lose anything on the king side, my position is not that horrible. It's
now,
still quite.
How are you defending the a7 pawn now?
I think you probably don't. Maybe you can play a6 though. Maybe it's you can actually afford to play a6, but then
c1.
Yeah,
coming.
This looks very ugly.
No, but you're defending. You've got. How are we? You're right. Get your bishop c1 in. Do
and
it
then
all.
Queen d6, bishop a3, bishop d6, queen c7 mate.
No, you're well. Okay.
Queen c5 played.
You have 7 moves in a row. You play queen takes c7.
No, it looks
one. What if
I think what he probably wants to do right now is maybe knight ba6. If you take on a7, I want to play queen b8, and I want to get the queens off pronto.
And but is that holding? I'm not sure that's holding.
Even that is, yeah.
But I've got bishop a3, bishop f8 then, right? Or you'll go knight e8.
The batsman Willie, as we all know.
Is he
Batman's Willie? What are we talking about?
Even Lawrence doesn't know. This is so depressing.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
Must be some weird cricket reference.
Yeah. Also, possibly I botched it because I'm not as sharp these days.
Pawn a6 and bishop c1 on the board. I think this is getting.
Yeah, I don't think you could afford to give up a7 there. I think those endings are very bad for black.
Yeah, but now I think knight takes d5 should be very strong. I was wondering about this endgame, and I thought you're not supposed to allow that. I really thought you're not supposed to allow that, but it's also possible that white doesn't really have anything better, because if you allow queen c8, your attack might just
he's going to play knight takes d5, no question. MVL doesn't miss such shots.
Maxi boy.
What about Ding? Why is bishop d3, rook e8, cd3. And white is still a pawn. Knight takes b2. Can it be played? Question. I'll do it. This is a Peter. Can it be played? Question mark. That's a Peter Swidler trademarked.
What? The question mark?
I have successfully trademarked the question mark. Yes.
Yeah.
Congrats. That must be quite a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rook b1. I mean, the only reason it hasn't been played yet is the move rook b1, I'm pretty sure. Otherwise,
Yeah.
you kind of want to take on b2. But
Yeah.
rook b1, you need to be very certain you don't lose on the spot somehow. This doesn't work out, but there are other options. There's a very cute move bishop c1 you can make there, which is like it's a bit of a giggle, but it also might not be entirely horrible.
Yeah. Because otherwise, what do you do? What's 95? No.
He went knight d2, which is a very smart choice actually, because I think he wants to take on b2 with the queen next move, and that's preferable.
What is this alien?
How did they? I mean, it feels like the wheels kind of came off for Fabi a little bit. He seemed well in control, and now he did. I think quite clearly isn't. And I wonder how we got from A to B here.
Fabi looks unhappy.
Rook d1, queen b2, knight e4.
Yeah, I think queen c2 is just very strong. Queen b3 might also be good, but I think queen c2 is like a large. Although
Rook f1.
I missed rook f1, but I also thought rook takes d2 is completely impossible, and it is possible. Yeah, let's go queen b3 instead. Let's go queen b3 instead.
But rook d2 is possible in that as well, but maybe not that great.
No, but after knight e4, I can play queen b3 instead of queen c2, which was my original intention. And then I somehow backtracked. I don't know why.
So if I take on d2, you just want to take on a4?
Yeah, I think those positions aren't that bad with the outside runner for black. I mean, endgames I think are just fine for black. With the queen's on, I'm less certain, but I would still say that it's playable. And there might be even something else, but we will see, because this position is actually on the board. So I'm quite curious to see what Ding thinks about it.
By the way, Peter, when you were saying that, the cricket reference, was it the bowler is holding the batsman's willy, which then makes the play on words right?
I didn't actually botch it, but it was better as a vague reference without you also saying every word separately. It's kind of important to do proper respect to one of the the most legendary bits of commentary ever recorded.
You know, I think I speak on behalf of myself and Tanya for two nations that should know. We should be more versed, but it's just not a sport I ever got involved with, ever, on any level.
Is it technically a sport?
Oh, yeah.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare. How dare you, sir?
How dare you?
How dare you, sir?
Yeah.
So what do we actually think about that position in MVL's game?
We think it is very interesting that, and as we say in the business, all results are still possible, I think.
No, I think black is, I mean, white can actually play, queen takes c1 there. I thought c4, did he miss queen c1? Whoa, that's a large thing if that's what happened here.
Why what?
I thought he was going to play queen b2, but then queen c8, cb5, queen c1. We should bring this, I mean, we're talking about a position which is not on the board, so that's probably not very productive.
Anyway, rook takes d2 played. And now, how do you want to do this, Mr. Ding?
Not counting increment, Nepo is down by just 3 minutes on his clock. in this
Yeah,
position.
and also I think he's better now. I think he's just better now. I think.
Games.
What happened here?
We're looking at the Nepomniachtchi game, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
even put it on
maybe.
screen.
Can you go queen e4, queen e5? And try and pretend that
I don't. And the line I got briefly excited about was after c4, knight takes b4, knight takes d4. I thought his intention originally was to play queen b2, but that runs into queen c8, queen c1.
And knight e2. Very nice.
Yeah, and then knight e2 check, and there are some drawing chances, but I don't know. It might actually hold for white for all we know, but obviously not what he wanted. But he played queen d3. I don't know if he missed knight c3 or if he missed, or maybe he didn't miss anything. Maybe he is still in control somehow. But it feels like black's knights will eventually come out. It's a really strange situation on the board right now, where black is a piece up, but this knight pair, if black is not giving mate, and queen e4 check does a very good job of stopping queen h4, which was a very large threat, it's just very difficult for any of the black pieces to move.
But it's also one of those positions where if you go slightly wrong here with white, you just end up losing, right?
Yeah, it's a very strange position, but you can maybe, like, I have a feeling you might have enough time to waste like 2 tempi on g3 and f4 to make sure that no checks are ever coming, and then you can play king e3 and actually attack the knight on d4, and you might be able to pick it up even. But that feels like, I mean, we're stretching it a little bit. Bishop a3 d6 is a very sound idea.
Did he play bishop a3?
Not yet, but I like it. The more I look at this, the more I like this idea, because I'm not sure how black is even supposed to react to that. It's a very, very large threat. A really wild game, but also I think MVL must have had something better after queen takes c4 check, king b7. Bishop b3 ace, bishop a3 is played.
Wow.
We're being spoiled rotten today, I have to say.
Yeah,
the game now looks like, I don't know, I guess an equal bishop endgame. So let's stick with Monsieur Maxime. Quick update on the drinking game. Lawrence did say in the business, so you have to take a shot for that. Peter did not apologize for his not very vague sexual innuendo, so no shot there for either.
I'll allow it.
Tanya, you're new to the show. There's all kinds of like drinking games and benchmarks people have to hit. Peter likes to apologize. Lawrence likes to get in fights with the chat, and he likes to say in the business. Therefore, we have to update people on the score.
Yeah.
But are you guys actually being the sport and following it up with having a shot or not having a shot?
No, that's for the audience, for the tens of people watching. They have to drink whenever any of these.
Yeah, we might progress to that stage as the tournament goes on, but we haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, with business with Lawrence in the booth, it's pretty much always business time. He does like to use the term constantly.
Yeah. And he's always down to his socks.
That's off screen though, so we are spared. We are spared that particular.
Can you show us, Lawrence? You're not wearing shoes, right?
I'm not going to start flashing anything below my waist on air. There are some real sick people out there, and actually they're all in a very concentrated location, aka Twitch chat. So
yeah, and Jan actually goes for something.
Wow,
it goes for something very striking. It feels like he's getting mated, but I don't think he is, because he always has king e8, queen d8 as a setup, and he is basically saying to MVL, you don't have better than a perpetual here. And maybe not even a perpetual. Actually, it's not that easy to even, like, if white just wants to make a draw here, I don't think he has one. Queen b7, king e8.
Haven't you got one of those weird positions where after queen c8, you take everything, go king e3, the knights can't move.
Yeah, I was trying to calculate that as well. But the thing is, we don't actually generate a threat because bishop c5, knight b3. So you cannot attack those knights. I mean, they can't move, but you cannot attack them either. It's a really, really weird position, like king d7 here.
Yeah, and then you put the bishop on f8 or something.
Yeah, it's very possible this is good for white. I'm not arguing with your assessment for once, but it's just such a weird position.
So queen c8, queen d8, queen d8, king d8, and then king e3. This line that you were saying.
I think black also doesn't have more than a perpetual. Like if white wants to make sure he is not worse, I think you can take on a6 here, as far as I can tell. But yeah, MVL goes. Yeah, but MVL goes for that endgame. Yeah, and this is really exciting because it's not a situation you see very often, where I have a feeling the side down a full piece here is actually the side playing for a win.
Can you maybe go king d3 and then some bishop a3?
That's what I was thinking. But we drop
d2. That's not impossible at all. Yeah, but black might be able to generate some counterplay. I think black, in general, maybe wants to play g6 here, just to make sure that he creates some weaknesses to play against in the future.
Double-edged though. I got g4, bishop f8.
Yeah, it's an incredibly sharp endgame for sure. Yeah, and look, I'm very, very unsure who is better and why here, which normally means it's 0-0-0, but sometimes it doesn't.
Even our degree in body language doesn't help you because they're both just calculating, looking concentrated.
Yeah, king d7 played. I think bishop f8, knight e6 is, well, I think it's just unplayable, so it's not a threat yet. You probably start making some progress on the king side first. g4 looks very normal. I don't know if we want f4 just yet. But g4 does look very...
g4, you can't go king e6, because then bishop f8 actually...
Yeah, can't is maybe a bit strong, but... Yeah, it's risky. It's risky, and as mentioned, I think black does want to play g6 as early as possible.
No, that works. No, Peter. King e6, bishop f8, king e5, bishop g7, f6.
No, king e5. Yeah, king e5 is I think a mistake. I would look for a better move there somehow.
White can go bishop c5 here, right? Because now knight e6 runs into this king e2, knight c5, g5 idea.
Wow.
Oh. That is very beautiful. It doesn't win the h pawn, but you get probably a position you never lose and win sometimes. Yeah, yeah. I do have knight e6, knight f8, but then you take on g6, and you have 3 pawns for the knight, and one of them is on h6. This normally is.
Could be lost.
I mean, it's clearly enough for a draw. Clearly enough for a draw, and might be more. Because you just start pushing all of them and hoping that black gets distracted. So hang on a second, what are we missing? After bishop c5, do we have a better move?
Maybe you go bishop c5, knight e6, king e2, and you take on h5, but then I can just run away with my bishop.
Yeah, bishop e3, you're not entirely certain you will draw. And MVL spots it. MVL is on point.
He's filthy.
Very much on point.
Wow.
Oh, and is that the tiniest of head shakes from Nepomniachtchi? Yeah.
I feel like I need to bring this on screen. I'm missing out.
He's got knight b3.
Yep.
Well, there was nothing
path.
else to do really.
Oh, no,
and now he's thinking:
is there maybe an argument for playing king e7, king f8 instead, and keeping the knight up to pick up on a5 as early as possible?
Not sure in which position. In the current position?
Well, you take on c5, you go g5, king e7. The king is also in the box or in the square, or well, I don't actually know how it's called in English.
No, he's decided he can't do it. He has decided to take on h5. But now he must suffer after bishop e3. Or bishop f8, I'm not sure which one.
So maybe this is a better version than knight e6.
Maybe bishop b6 to completely cut the knight. No, rather.
Yeah, but then the h pawn starts running. I'm pretty sure he wants to go h4 in that position and start that side of counterplay.
This makes sense.
So what? But so then we just come over, no, with the king, or what?
Yeah, it's a strength. I mean, once you play king f2, I will have knight d2 as a move. Yeah, I wanted h3 and then h2 and win the f pawn, but maybe I don't actually win the f pawn.
Yeah.
But the thing about this position is, I think you must play h4, because if you go hg fg, the knight on b3 just gets well. He does go hg fg.
What?
He has enough squares actually. King e6 now. He does have enough squares. You take on e5 and you go knight c1. It doesn't get caught. It doesn't get caught because it always has the jump. Yeah, the squares. You might still be in quite some trouble here after something like bishop b3 and then king d3. Like, no, I'm wondering if this pawn endgame is not lost for black. We need to calculate king d3.
We take obviously on black h6.
Yeah, like this endgame, for instance. Yeah, maybe even king d4 now.
Yeah.
Or also just c5, c6. Yeah, that's probably too slow. So still a very, very sharp position in which it's very easy to miscalculate.
And Maxime, almost down to no time.
Well, 2 minutes in this position is not really no time.
More than enough. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about more than enough, but it's definitely.
I thought he had less.
And hang on a second. There's been something like, what's happening in the Fabi game?
Fabi, look, it will be draw.
How?
You mean you think Fabi's winning?
No, I mean a8 comes, like a8 is check.
And
basically he is saying that this is still a draw somehow, even with the h pawn still on the board, because the pawn on f6 gets in the way of your checks, which I suspect is not true. I think he's just lost.
Wow. Queen?
Like queen a7. Chaos is a ladder, as we all know, Lawrence. Or queen g7 check just kind of ends the game here, right?
Yeah, queen g7, yeah. Wow. How did he lose that ending? How did he lose that ending? You would have bet your 1-bedroom apartment on that. On him holding that.
Yeah, okay. Fabi is white. So before we go into this whole thing, Fabi is actually playing the white pieces in this position. So he is.
Oh, I'm saying, how did Ding lose his ending?
Yeah. I keep on forgetting who's playing which side, but yeah, the trick here is of course not to take on h4 because that would make it an immediate draw.
Right.
And actually, without the g3 square, do we win? This is kind of funny because the way to win this.
That position with the pawn on h3 because you don't have queen g3 forcing king h1.
Yeah, exactly. Do we actually win this without the g3 square available to us?
I think king h3 was because I think I don't know if the pawn's on h3, maybe it's still a draw, but now it's lost.
I think. I seem to recall I've seen a construction like this, and it was a draw. I guess it depends where the white king is and so on. But how do you?
Yeah, the king is too far, no?
Yeah, looks like a draw to me.
Yeah, how are we going to won?
That's quite remarkable, actually.
The key trick, I should explain this, is if you ever take this pawn, it's a draw because once white gives this check, which is typically used to force the king in front of the pawn, we go to the corner, and if the pawn gets captured, it is what Lawrence calls stalemate. Therefore, white has to try to keep this pawn alive, but it's not so easy because you're also lacking the g3 square, which you would normally need for getting closer. For example, here you can't take, and after check, the pawn on h4 covers this square. Therefore, I think it's a draw.
Okay. Then the question becomes, was it in fact a huge take maybe to, but maybe there's no difference. Maybe that's. I'm thinking if he goes instead of queen g7 check, if he goes queen a6, b6, b5, c5, c4, d4, and so on, does he end up? And yeah, Fabi just.
Fabi takes the pawn. Now it's a well-known textbook draw. Every Essex schoolboy knows that with the f pawn on f2 you make a draw here.
Yeah, he's about to take. I'm pretty sure.
He's got to take and stalemate. Yeah. C'est fini.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a very nice save by Ding, but I actually kind of want to cheat here because.
So what if white does not take the f6 pawn in that position? Was there any chance then? Probably still not.
Yeah, apparently my excitement was completely misplaced, and with the pawn on h4, even with the pawn on h3 still alive, it was a draw. I wonder if Ding just knew that and went for this instead of just keeping the. I mean, the bishop ending was going absolutely nowhere. The bishop ending was like equal and remained equal for a while, and then he voluntarily played bishop f4 in that position, allowing all this.
No.
So
Ding knows his stuff.
Yeah, if he actually went for this knowing this is a draw, this is some very hardcore knowledge of somewhat unusual endgame positions. Because I mean, it does come up in studies and so on, but yeah.
All right, so draw in that game, making the score what, 1-1?
Yeah, 1-1 there, and this one also ended up being drawn. MVL decides not to pretend in this position, which you can sort of understand because even the a pawn is the wrong corner. So if black gives up the pawn on f7 and the knight for the g4 g4 c4, it's an immediate draw. So not a lot of chance for white to win this one.
So Maxim Vachier-Lagrave keeps the lead in that match, 1.5-1/2. Meaning in the next game with the white pieces, Jan Nepomniachtchi really needs to score if he wants to keep this close. Because if he does not win the next game and he's down, let's say 2-1, and then Maxim with the white pieces in the last game, we've seen many a times at the highest level, even with Rapid, it's almost impossible to come back with the black pieces. Peter, have you ever come back with a must-win with the black pieces?
I have a feeling I did it once in my life, yeah. Trying to remember against who. I think once and once only, but I think I won. Definitely I remember one, and maybe there was more. But one I did remember, but it's not the one I expected to remember. This is why I'm now saying maybe there is more. I won a game against Arkadiy Naidic in the one of the Khanty World Cups. I lost a very nicely played by him game with white, and then played some kind of really weird modern / Peertz, was lost by move 10, and then he kind of misplayed it badly and ended up losing.
Right, I vaguely recall that. All right, so 1-1 between the world number 2 and world number 3 in classical chess. And Maxim Vachier-Lagrave is leading the battle of the candidates tournament leaders. Candidates tournament leaders means these two guys were in the lead after 7 rounds. Before the candidates tournament, the tournament that is played to find the next challenger for world champion Magnus Carlsen, was postponed. There are 7 games still to come. Lawrence, Tanya, do you have info when that will continue? I've heard different things, but nothing official.
No idea whatsoever. But I think, I mean, this year, it happening this year would be us getting lucky.
That goes for most things, I feel like. That's still, my dream is still they play in, let's say, September. Then the World Championship match is in December, and chess business moves on as usual. But it feels unlikely somehow.
Yep, we'll see. Fingers crossed. So
Hikaru did a very interesting thing yesterday in his interview about how this tournament might have some sort of a butterfly effect. What happens in this tournament and the results in this tournament might have some effect on what happens in the candidates later on. And I think that's quite an interesting insight, because obviously all these players are coming from half a candidate over, and then a lot of them, and then going into the second half. So I wonder if they're playing a lot of their prep here, or they're not. How much of an confidence boost it is to actually beat these guys. For example, like with Maxime, I think he beat Jan in the candidates, and now possibly in this match as well. So it's going to be interesting if this has any effect on how they continue when candidates resume.
Fully agree. And I have a feeling they're not holding back. In general, first of all, there's a lot of money and pride at stake.
Yeah.
And also I have a feeling that guys nowadays are so worried, if I don't play it, someone else will. And I should play my best stuff. I'll have time before the candidates to come up with new stuff. Not sure that goes for everybody, but that's the vibe I'm getting.
I agree. I mean, this isn't just some random Blitz tournament on the internet. I mean, $70,000
It's a lot of money.
It's actually probably more. Is it more than the candidates? Probably not. Peter will know.
Possibly the most money they're going to make or play for. I mean,
for a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this much is clear. I think the candidates, even without the obvious huge big cherry on top, is probably slightly richer than this.
Mm-hmm. But not probably.
Not by an order of magnitude, but I think it is richer. But
can be looked up. I think it was published. That's whatever 3,500 per draw you score in the candidate, something.
Yeah, and there are 3 prizes as well on top of that. So, and I think the first prize is commensurate with what we are playing for here. But plus, there's money for points, and of course there's the match on top of that, which is a huge payout, but it's a separate event, so I don't think that should count. But yeah, with the candidates on some kind of an indefinite hold, this is extremely likely to be the biggest paying chess event of the year.
Oh, all online. What's happening with the world? Lawrence and Tanya, you have a long-term rivalry over who's a better chess player, who's higher rated, who becomes a grandmaster first. What's the current score? Tanya, do you still outrate Lawrence?
It's a bit disappointing to bring this up right now, because the last time I was here on this show was actually the day the candidates got cancelled. And I was still higher rated back then. But then I think as of right now, with the new list, it breaks my heart to say that Lawrence is higher rated than me. And,
I didn't know that, or I wouldn't have asked.
Yeah, wow. I was surprised. But I know. I think beyond the rivalry and the hate that we have for each other, of course, we also go back a long way, and I do hope he becomes a grandmaster just after I do, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Familiarity breeds contempt, as they say.
Yeah, I think I think Tanya is a big favorite to actually make the title before me, because I'm kind of old and retired, and Tanya's, well, when chess gets back to normal, she's still playing a lot. But the rivalry is still fierce. And if you were to view our private messaging, you would see that in all its glory. When I say, I mean, we're just having a bit of banter, but.
Please explain further.
No, please don't explain further.
I'm just hoping that with all of this, I want to talk about a tournament that's ongoing, but I'm not really allowed to. But I'm going to try and talk in generalities that the future of online tournaments for mere mortals like us actually looks like it could work. I was also thinking about virtual reality, Jan, and I know that's something you're massively into, and you visit various websites where you are utilizing the virtual reality options available to you. I know you've been a big fan of that, and I'm thinking that why can't we have some virtual reality chess tournaments? I mean, that way, you know, we feel like we're in the setting, we get all the tension, the same kind of tension of being over the board. And
I've long been advocating that Chess24's slogan should be "We are VR."
Yeah, yeah. Get that trademarked ASAP. That's get the TM on that, or copyright, whatever. So yeah, I think virtual reality going forward is actually going to be a big part of chess. And I think it wouldn't be amazing just to be able to, you know, sit opposite Peter's fiddler in a VR setting and, you know.
Oof, I'm so happy the games are restarting if I have to listen to this speech for one more minute. Oh, boy. This looks
Anyways.
boring. Let's go with Nepomniachtchi versus MVL. Close Sicilian.
What?
Yeah, that's a bit of a change. Yeah, in game one we have in game ones of these two micro matches we had like white sacrificing half the chess set combined on two boards by move 12, and today we have a symmetrical G3 C6 Grunfeld on one board and a closed Sicilian on another, which is about as different from what we've seen earlier as it's possible to get. I do not believe I've seen Jan play very much close Sicilian at all, but it's always been, you know, a choice of an opening where you could just get a playable position and play it. But I don't think. I mean, the one really top player who's been doing this reasonably consistently for a number of years is, of course, Nigel Short. But apart from him, not a huge part of modern opening repertoires of top players.
Yeah, also Nigel, I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but if, then it's against somewhat weaker opposition. I'm a bit surprised because it was, I thought, considered to be a bit too easy for Black to get a decent game. Then again, when it does pop up, you know, Magnus won a nice game against Wojtaszek. I think Fedoseev had a nice position against Anish, was it so? Maybe it's old enough to be that people have sort of forgotten how to play against it.
Yeah, and luckily for us, in the other game, Fabi chooses to go. Well, they kind of combined to go for one of the sharper versions of the symmetrical G3C6 Grunfeld. This can become a gambit very, very easily. I have a feeling Ding actually played this against me in one of the World Rapids, and I think the game ended in a draw. But I was very, very scared for my life out of the opening. I think you're supposed to go knight f3 back here, and after knight c6 you castle, and you very much allow queen b6, and often don't even protect the pawn on d4 at all. So these positions do get a lot sharper than your typical cd5 g3 Grunfelds. If he doesn't go knight f3 though, there's also knight d3. Was it knight d3 that he played against me? Maybe this is why he's still thinking.
Knight d3, that's interesting.
Knight d3 once again with the intention of playing e2, e4, and just completely forgetting about the d4 pawn. The d4 pawn is not going to be defended. Those are very sharp positions. They probably should be okay for Black, but you definitely need to know what you're doing.
Why has Jan Nepomniachtchi decided, oh, I'll play the closed Sicilian today against MVL, who's been playing against closed Sicilians?
There's an interesting point to be made here, though. MVL has been experimenting a bit with his openings in this tournament, but usually you would never see him play knight to c6 because he was exclusively a knight-off player. And after knight c6, at least the word on the street is you can't reach the knight-off if white goes knight e2 or knight f3, followed by d4. So I'm very surprised, first of all, that MVL goes knight c6, and secondly, that Nepomniachtchi does not play knight e2 or knight f3 followed by d4 here, and instead goes along with
it's a very good point Jan is bringing up, because against people like MVL who play the knight-off sort of exclusively, more or less, and have played the knight-off their entire lives, 2 knight c3 has become a bit of a weapon of choice for people not really in the mood for that theoretical discussion on the day.
Now
because
after
after
d6, you have some options. F4.
Yeah, the Grand Prix, I
followed by
think.
g3. Here, there's all kinds of subtleties. But
yeah, the Grand Prix supposedly gains in strength because e6 is no longer such a pleasant option. It's curious, but also the way Jan is playing the closed Sicilian here, it just feels like Black is instantly very, very comfortable.
I've never seen Spassky play a4.
Yeah, there's the whole debate whether knight c1 followed by knight g1 and c3 is a way to play for opening advantage, but this is how they used to do it. I think. Also, I think this is how that Carlsen Wojciech game went. I want to say, but not.
Yeah, he put a knight on h3.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, now
played.
after d5, bishop g5 already feels like that move may have been needed, because Black definitely were making quite a bit of progress. And bishop g5 aims to at least kind of distract Black from what he's doing in the center. The pawn on d5 is probably not hanging just yet. Maybe it is. Maybe if you start with ed5 and then you take on d4 and then you take on e7 and on d5, something like that. But at least Black needs to pay attention to it. Black needs to decide if he wants to take on e4 himself right now, which probably allows... I think d4 is still actually a pretty good move, because d4 knight takes e4. I think we can play f5.
It's great for Black, doesn't it?
Well, it's depends on how the tactics work out, but I suspect they work out very well for Black, yeah. Like knight takes d4 here, cd4, and some kind of mess with knight c5, bishop g2, knight takes e6. But I have a feeling it ends up with white resigning.
Looks good. Looks good for Black. I really dislike the choice. I mean, I know we're saying that MVL played knight c6, but you can do also. You can play knight f3 on move 3. You can play knight g e2 on move 3. There are all kinds of things you could have done. f4, bishop b5, the English school of playing against the Sicilian. The likes of Julian Hodgson, for example, playing the Sicilian in the good old days.
We should add Lawrence brings up Julian Hodgson in the drinking game, by the way. Greetings to Julian Hodgson.
Don't ruin it.
How is that ruining it? I think that's an improvement.
No, I've got to work in Jules every day. I know he's watching. Shout out to Jules.
Yeah.
Shout out to David Rumans as well. I don't know why.
Is 95 a move here? I think it is. I mean, e5, ed5, f6 probably actually keeps the piece, but I don't know how happy we are with that pawn on b7. Like takes and a5 maybe even. I think we can afford to even include a5, a6 here and just play positionally.
It's like very good compensation. This bishop is an idiot.
Yeah, this is tremendous. This is very nice for white. I mean, the sad part is that after knight d5 you can just play f6 here and
you have to take on e7.
Yeah, but I think maybe getting those knights off the board is not bad for white at all.
Progress, yeah. He's played knight b1, but now I think you're worse. It's just a meh King's Indian.
It's not a horrible King's Indian, but yeah, I think Black probably is happier of the two.
Also, Jan is playing for a win. He has to win, so maybe he's happy just, to get a fighting structure. Who cares what the objective value is?
Can we switch back to the ding game? Because it's a very curious position, which on the face of it looks like it's not threatening at all for Fabiano. I mean, I really like what is this?
Let's see how this went. So Fabiano
Ding
took
has
here.
He's playing in a style that I'm not used to. He's just going all in, it seems, in a lot of these games.
He is a very aggressive player, no? His calm demeanor.
Yeah.
Might.
Rook f3, g4, rook h3, f5. I mean...
Yeah, but Black will probably be smart enough to include rook h8 at some point if the rook lands on h3. Yeah, it's an interesting... But I think mainly what he's doing here is he's saying, I do not believe you have any source of any kind of fast counterplay. So I have enough time to do this. and then why not? Because he hasn't actually, this hasn't been an all-in yet. It could become an all-in in 5 moves, but so far he hasn't done anything to his position he cannot recover from. G4 is not such a huge commitment.
Ooh, Queen H4. What's that? So if we go there, that's probably...
Well, it's a bit of a challenge because you can give up the pawn on G4 to, well, to mainly give up the pawn on G4. I don't know. I don't think that works. Rook H3, Queen takes G4. I don't think that queen ever really gets into trouble. And it's an important pawn because it also immediately brings up the plan of knight e7, knight f5. So you want that pawn alive. I think that move is basically, he's asking Ding, if you want to play h3, then your previous play instantly makes a lot less sense because with Rook h3 not being available, your quote-unquote mating threats on the king side probably will never materialize. And Rook g3 is just an awkward move to make because it's sort of neither here nor there.
Nicht Fisch, nicht Fleisch, as we say in German.
Exactly.
Lawrence, how's your German these days? It's pretty good, right? Yeah, he's muted himself.
Sorry, I will be right back, but my German...
All right, sorry, I didn't see it. Your German is excellent.
As we say in the business.
Oh, boy. So, Maxime, the knights did disappear in a very different manner.
Yeah, that's an interesting sequence. You could have just gone knight d5 and gotten probably this same position, but 3 moves earlier. Yeah, with the knights off, this is clearly slightly better for black, but probably nothing overly dramatic. Because it's just difficult to make progress, but...
Yeah, we have to go here. Yeah. Now, I guess it's okay. No, this pawn on a5 now is sort of useful, stopping black from gaining too much space. And Maxime goes f5 directly.
Yeah, I think he's trying to specifically use the fact that bishop h6, bishop takes g7 hasn't been played yet to try and sneak in f5, f4. Because if you play, your normal reaction here would be to play f4 yourself. But the way pieces are, you have to somehow figure if you have an answer to h6, which you probably do here. You can play fe and take on h6. So that's not really a huge deal. As an emergency panic button, you can go ef5, but ef5, gf5 is definitely an improvement for black. So you, if all things being equal, this is very much something I think that Jan would not want to do. It also very conveniently for black stops bishop h6 from happening because the 6th rank opens up and the queen on d6 controls the h6 square.
It's also so ugly. It's this old.
Yeah.
Every Russian schoolboy knows you recapture with the G pawn, like you don't do that.
I think he's specifically one tempo short because I think the problem with f4, as I now realize, is that black will just go f takes e4 after f4. And you need the rook on e1 there to be able to take with pieces. And you will end up having to take with the d3 pawn, which allows c4.
Wow, he's gone ef5. And not only that, we are also being joined by the savant, world-class player Alexander Grishuk is joining us from Moscow to explain everything that's happening. How are you, Alexander?
Evening, ladies and gentlemen. How enjoyable do you find commenting on Jan against MVL match? Because to me it looks like they're playing some kind of bullet.
Yeah.
Do you mean that in a good or in a bad way?
I mean, just the speed. I mean, what do you mean?
I meant, are you saying the quality is low or just because they are blitzing?
No, the quality is not fantastic, but mostly I meant speed, of course.
Okay.
I mean, it's just, you cannot even show anything, explain. It's just bam, 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 bam. Like, I don't know, like, 300 beats per minute, the tempo.
Yeah, it's been a weird match. Very exciting in terms of positions they've generated so far, but apart from maybe this one, but even this one is now very lively, and I think White is in trouble, honestly. But
I don't even know. do they comment how to say? Do they comment table tennis in real time, or they just wait for the point to finish and then say a couple of words and prepare for the next point?
I think I've seen some live coverage of ping pong, and I think there's some commentary going on, but not a lot, obviously. Yeah.
And the same is here. It's like boom, boom. I mean, so many strange decisions and some fantastic decisions, but you cannot even start commenting because position changed completely. You started to say something, and then, for example, he took like, I don't know, half a minute to play d4. Then, which is okay, very strange decision. Then Jan played a5 within several seconds when you could just play bishop take e7, queen e7, e5, have fantastic position. Just
that actually is we missed it completely. Yeah.
Yes,
but that is a very good point
because you have like 3 seconds to capture it. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, it's very strange, Sasha. I spoke about this on the first day. I spoke about it yesterday. I don't think they can get out of Blitz mode. They're so used to playing Blitz on the computer that it's difficult to transition and make the switch.
Although Maxim doesn't play so much Blitz. I rarely see him on any of the play zones playing, unless there is some tournament or some championship or something. Just for fun, I almost never see him play. Jan, yes, he now started to play a lot, doing the streaming and so on, but Maxim, no.
But Maxim is still taking reasonable amount of time for his games. Jan's just blitzing out no matter what the position is, whether he's playing for the initiative, he's better, he's worse, he's just playing moves in seconds. But I think Maxim's taking some time.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah.
Isn't black much better? The center, all that good stuff?
Yeah, c4, e4, something.
He's already pushed e4, but now after bishop f4, he needs to take a decision if he wants to, let's say, immediately play bishop e5, trade those bishops off, or if he feels he has some time to improve his position more. And after rook e6, do we expect Jan to just blitz out queen b1, for instance?
Blitz out something.
No.
Because I thought he will be deciding between queen a1 and queen b1.
Exactly, yeah. But queen b1 has an additional idea of b4, maybe. So
but
I thought
a1 has additional a4 square. So
yeah, I wasn't joking in the slightest. I think on d2 this queen isn't really doing very much apart from preventing you from getting mated, which is important. But getting that queen to the a2 g8 diagonal was definitely an idea worth considering.
Rook f8, b4 also blitzed out. Not missing a beat here.
Yeah, there hasn't been very many beats missed in general in this match.
But maybe his position is not so bad now, because I thought it was clearly worse, and now
I think he's generating enough counterplay. I was wondering if I can play c4 just to kind of make sure my central pawns are not being challenged, but it's a full pawn, and I still don't understand how I'm making any progress after d takes c. e3 still is not a threat. Queen h5, there's always queen d1. Yeah, I don't know.
Also, what I don't understand is what is going on with Fabiano's queen in the other game.
Aren't they repeating?
Maybe draw. Chase it.
Yeah, the biggest, like, why hasn't queen h4 been played yet is the question, because queen f5, bishop h3 does appear to lose it in one move. So, like, the more pressing question is, what is he thinking about here?
Fabi, are you there?
Yeah, might do something.
d4?
Might do
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah, this is what he's thinking about, d4 instantly, yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. For some reason, I only started thinking about it with the queen on f5 and the bishop on h3, where it definitely doesn't work. And why hasn't he played it? That looked very interesting. I mean, it's gone now, but that was a very sharp and a very interesting option. I guess maybe just rook g4, dc3, and something like queen e1 or something boring like that. And it turns out that we can't actually queen the c pawn convincingly.
So take on b2.
Yeah, queen b1 maybe.
And knight d4, I thought. So to first maybe take on e2.
And then take on g4. Yeah, but there's bishop
Yes.
f1 in the end.
And take f4. Ah, and you cover. Ah, so you cover d3.
Yeah.
And bishop d3 is not playing for a win.
Probably not.
Nah,
Also,
yeah, you can even take g4 if you want. At least
yeah,
at the very least.
yeah, but I think queen d2 maybe was winning on the previous move.
Yeah,
winning
sure.
straight up after bishop d3. Because you can't actually coordinate and I win a piece, I think. Yeah, well, it didn't happen and he played queen h4 back, and now Ding basically has the option of repeating again or looking for ways to do something.
They have 8 out of 10 draws together, Ding and Fabiano. They both won one game, drew 3 in previous match and 2 now.
Very efficient.
Yeah.
Jan's kind of people.
I love it.
Yeah, and
Anish letting us down.
MVL won a pawn, but now Jan probably will be able to generate some play. At least the hope for him has to be that he will be able to generate some play. But I don't quite see what play. Because queen b3 check, I think we go... Even rook e6 might be okay, because after rook c1, there is rook c3.
But what's the reason to not play king h8?
Yeah, there's also no reason not to... Yeah, I think king h8 is fine, because queen f7, we have rook f8.
No, we have e3 as a huge threat, I think.
Ah, yeah, e3 just... Yeah, e3 does crush. Cannot be allowed. So he starts with rook c1, but now...
Rook c3.
Rook c3 is good. I'm wondering if there's anything stronger. I mean, it takes d3 would be quite...
We do queen b3?
d3 check, right?
Yeah, queen b3, queen d3. Yeah, that's... Otherwise, I think you're in a lot of trouble.
Rook c3 played.
Bishop d2, and maybe now you play takes d3, yeah?
Yeah.
I think this is probably what he's intending. Because if obviously if both of these guys survive, white will not be in this game for much longer. So do we go d4 first and then bishop d2 maybe?
Yeah, bishop d2, e3 looks very strong actually.
But it feels like white is struggling here almost regardless of what you do.
But even this position after, if you take on e4 with d4, fe4, bishop d2 now, I could just take and move my queen, and I still think black is doing quite well now. With
Yeah,
these
well, it's an extra pawn, and e3 will constantly be a huge threat hanging over Jan. I'm trying to calculate e3 in this position. Even that is not entirely pointless, but probably doesn't quite work.
And
rook takes c3. That's
Wow.
very striking, because that, like, if that c pawn now survives, you are kind of dead.
You also have a choice, no?
Yes, but in keeping with how this match is going, this choice hasn't been thought of for very long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and now rook c8, and I think it just gets to c2 and survives on c2, which is going to be a bit of a problem for white.
You're not exactly in time trouble.
No, not really, no.
All right. In the other game, it looks as though Fabi is investing some time here in trying to make your d4 move work.
No, d4 was only playable because the pawn on e2 was hanging. Unless you win some material, you never give the one knight on c3 the square on e4. Okay. It's insane to allow knight e4.
Ding refused to repeat for starters. He went rook
f4. but Ding says no to the repetition, which is the
because
first
of Alexander's draw shaming.
Also, this repetition is not running away from him, I think.
That's fair.
He can still...
Maybe f5, rook f4 was a threat? Maybe f5 is even now something we can play now? Like in the current position. Yeah, and f5 is what he does play.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really?
Well,
Interesting.
yes.
Okay, so now I will start my, no, how to do it? Some knight f5, d4, how to do it? Maybe just like this, d4.
Knight e4.
And knight g3, now you can just take
I can play hg, yeah, which is kind of depressing. Yeah, I can go hg here.
That's amazing. So what is this, winning for white?
Currently, I don't really see any good choices for Fabi, yeah.
Whoa.
I was sort of on board with playing queen h4,
Wait,
move 18, but
is there
locking
a
himself
rook
in is...
c2, knight
What?
f5, rook, knight f5, rook
Ah,
f4, knight e4, rook c2?
that is very good.
I know.
Well played, Lawrence.
I produce a gem per day. You've just got it.
So we can basically mute you now.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
But that is extremely strong, actually.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to avoid it, because rook takes h4, dc3 probably just wins for black. Well, wins is maybe strong, but black is clearly better, because at the very least you will have a lot of material for the queen, and the king side will be completely broken up.
Fabi might also find this out of bare necessity, no?
Exactly, yeah. He's not really spoiled for choice here. Everything else seems resignable.
And so does black just win after this? No, maybe white has knight d5 after d4.
Ah, clever. Clever.
You take maybe, I don't know.
Hang on a second. Is rook c1 check a movement I can make in this position?
Wow, knight d5?
You can, but I will take on g3 then, yeah?
Yeah. I'm trying to see if it's maybe not so bad, because you have stuff. Queen c7 probably wins. Yeah, queen c7 wins after queen g3 here. Or rook f7 maybe even stronger. Rook f7 followed by queen c7. Doesn't work. Okay. Knight d5. Yeah, if e d5, then white is doing quite well, because, I mean, bishop h3 now, for instance. Stopping knight f5 and then queen f4 next move.
Let's have a look at Fabi. Even though I hate looking at that shirt, let's see what he's calculating.
Can you go knight g3 or knight d5 so that rook h4, then maybe you can take on e2?
Rook h4 and then take on e2, take on d5. Maybe this is the better choice, yeah.
Take here and rook h4 and knight e2.
Yeah, we take on e2, take on d5, and probably you're still worse, but are you? Whoa, he went gf?
Oh, wow.
What fresh hell is this?
What's the idea? Rook f4, still d4?
No, but it can't be, because you're not winning the rook on h4.
Yeah,
what is this?
But maybe the pawn will queen itself, because black will play c2 at the end, not cb2.
So we can bail out with queen takes d8 if we want to, no?
Yeah, but then black actually has reasonable compensation, I feel. Like bishop takes c2, knight g6, it's not horrible. So he's gone for that. Hang on a second, does he have a reply to knight b1 right now?
If that works.
I'm guessing he wants d3, but that's probably a little bit too futuristic, right? I mean, this
Might
cannot
be
be
one
happening.
plate. Yep.
Wow. Is this
Beautiful. d3, it's a queen.
I mean, d3, rook h4, g takes c2 is such a funny position to even discuss, but unfortunately there's e3 here, and also maybe even eg3 wins.
This position, okay, I guess we don't need it. King f2.
Yeah, we have all these options here. Like e3, you take on f4, you play rook c2. You might actually have decent play for the queen there. E d3, queen g3, hg, rook d3, queen e1. That's probably the cleanest one. Just play ed here.
So d3. But ed, I mean, it's a little ugly.
I think we take with the pawn.
Okay, so Fabiano took on
Wow,
f4.
he took on f4. Yeah,
He just goes for
this.
some slow compensation.
Yeah, I like
Doesn't
it,
respect
actually.
queens.
It's
you
a
a
rare
big fan of-
case because usually people say that the only real sacrifice is pawn or exchange, because you never sacrifice a queen. You just, I mean, it's like a combination. You just win, you know, immediately after this. But here it's like a real sacrifice of the queen.
You don't think he blundered f5? So it's a blunder of the queen?
Of course, he blundered, but now he sacrifices.
And it's, I mean, the game is actually still quite alive because of how poor the white pieces are.
I think he definitely has more compensations than Alireza had against Ding with the same material.
Ah, yeah. That's I think quite fair.
All right, let's briefly check in with the other game.
Maxim went very wrong, I think, at some point.
Yeah, I don't know I don't like what he's done, and I don't think he's.
It was a very strange decision on move 34 to exchange d4 pawn for c3 pawn.
Yeah, I also didn't understand that at all. Yeah, I thought rook c8 or c2 has to be played, and black has to be much better. Whereas here, the white king is just much safer than the black one, and the extra pawn is not really felt. It feels like if you're black in this position, I think you have to start thinking about making sure you don't lose.
Thanks, Anton squared me. That was very much on purpose. I'm glad someone caught it.
Yeah, okay, so slightly misplayed, it looks like maybe by MVL there. Ding having a think after knight takes e5, but have I got my clock times right? He's got about 1.5 minutes. For Ding, is that right? Where's the... How long has Ding got?
Ding has got like 4 minutes 17.
Why
so
am I getting
close to 1.5 minutes, but more.
Yeah, I need to find the...
If you're confused about the clock times, those are the numbers next to the players' names, indicates how much time they have left to think, but they also get an extra 10 seconds for every move they make. So sometimes they jump back up.
So Ding is already offering an exchange to Fabiano.
He's allowing knight c4.
And he's not taking. Because this is not knight, it's octopus.
It's Kraken. Kraken.com.
Yeah.
No, it's a very exciting position, very exciting. I mean, basically everything except having an extra queen is bad for white. He has bad king, bad pawn structure, terrible knight on b1. Everything is bad, but extra queen. So let's see.
I think it's maybe time to throw in g5, g6. I quite like this idea here. I liked it even on the previous move, but now that rook takes a7 will be a check if black plays f6, I like it even more. It's time to create some breathing space. And he takes on a, this is...
He took on a7?
He took on a7, which is also very understandable, of course.
That would be a real octopus on e3.
Yeah, I think we probably need to stop it before from... But now white's pieces kind of start coming out. It feels like, as I telling that long story on air once, and the bigger collection of glassy-eyed people waiting for me to finally conclude, I have never seen. But the queen is a queen here, and it feels like White probably should be able to, I don't know, play queen before queen e7 at some point and just switch to giving mate himself.
You can't just tease a story like that. Was that the Petrosian time honored?
Yeah, that thing, yeah.
And bishop take e2, I guess h3, yeah, is very strong.
H3 is...
You played it.
Why can't we... Oh, you mean if we take, he gives check and goes 93, yeah? Even that endgame probably is not good for black, but h3 right now is...
Has not happened yet.
Probably concludes the game, because very importantly, the knight on a3 now covers the c2 squares, so...
No more tricks. D3, HG, rook C1. I'm running out of pieces.
Yeah, I don't
like it all.
We can even take, but king h2 will be, or king f2 will be winning very comfortably. I wonder what he is thinking about here.
G6.
H3 played. Come on, Fabi. I said you would win this match. Don't let me down now.
Yeah, I just
D3.
don't see how to continue. He plays d3, but the thing is, after hg, you're really not generating any threats, and we're entering the kind of embarrassing material imbalance situations.
This is what we call a queen. It's worth 9 points. Some counts even say 10 points. Rook is like 5 points. So 9, 14, 17, 20, 23 for white, 3, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Not that bad. Did I miscount?
Plus 19, is that all?
-4, or...
Yeah, -4.
Yeah, -4 sounds about right, but the thing is, like, it's just so difficult to imagine where the threat is coming from. I just go king f2 here, and...
Also, I really like b3 move. You both want knight c4 and queen b2 check.
That is very nice, yeah.
Very nice.
I guess your only chance is to play rook c1 check to avoid your rook getting blocked. So you
in the meantime, since this looks lost, do you think Nepomniachtchi is making a comeback as well?
Well, the question is if maybe he is winning now, because the king has to go to the 6th and he plays bishop p5, I assume.
No,
but then
FG
and queen, I blundered queen takes f2. It's not nearly as good as I thought, because I can take with the bishop, but queen takes f2 there is a bit of a problem with my suggestion. Then maybe MVL still has things somewhat under control. So he did manage to push f5, f4, and that means that the white king on h2 is no longer completely safe.
If we go bishop c5?
Yeah. FG, king g7, I guess.
Check on
also
e2.
queen a2 check.
I missed that square.
Does it win or just... Yeah, because the queen cannot really pass the b file, right? So it's a way to make a draw.
But I'm extremely happy with draw with black.
Yeah, I think it's time to start looking. Hang on a second. Bishop c5. No. How do I? Bishop c5 fg, king g1 was what I was. Oh, he just went
g4 plate. No draw. No draw for weak French player. Is his logic?
G4.
I thought he is going to play e3 if g4.
Yeah, because f3 now bishop e5 probably wins. Yeah. Probably queen e7, and then bishop d6, now rook d6, queen c5 wins the queen, which is kind of cute. But
was that bishop d6, rook d6, queen c5?
Queen c5, yeah. Which is a nice double cross as they.
Wow, king g5.
Not because he likes his. I'm pretty sure this is not a move you make because you like your position. It's just a move you make because you don't see any other moves. He's also down to less than a minute against about 7-ish for MVL.
What's going on after h4 now?
Well, the king continues the forward march. Yeah, king takes.
What king takes?
On h4.
I go bishop f6.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get mated after maybe queen f6.
No, because you pick up the bishop on d6, right? F3 check, you take on d6.
Yeah, that's a good.
No, this might be very critical actually. This is a very good spot by Tanya.
Wow, nicely played. I wish I could spot such moves.
Can't take g4 because of rook d6.
Hang on.
Yeah, rook d6, exactly.
Bishop f6 check. Bishop f6 check.
Yeah.
King takes
Yeah.
g4.
Rook d6.
On
Rook d6, king f3.
Come on.
Ah, no, queen d7, queen h3. No, doesn't
Also,
work.
haven't we got queen c3 check there?
e3. That one I wasn't that worried about. I was kind of happy to play e4, e3, and then you no longer have checks. Yeah.
But then
Can happen.
start with queen h5 check.
But then after king, I thought that was for some reason not as fast. He played queen h8 instead.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on a second. F3 check.
Now bishop
F3
f5,
check.
queen f4.
Yeah, bishop f5, bishop f5, queen f4 check.
No. Oh no.
That's awesome.
Oh no.
He took on d6 though. That didn't happen. He took on d6.
And queen f4 on the board?
This is probably a draw, right? Because we probably can never take on d6. We get mated, I assume. After king g1, I think he just goes queen c1 and takes the draw now. What a way!
Drama.
What a way to end the game here. Yeah.
Wow.
How is it made after rook d6? What?
I have no idea, but it looks scary. I guess bishop e3 just wins.
No, that's rook d1, right?
Oh, wait, a little
Oh
check.
no, it doesn't. Yeah, that doesn't win. That's the opposite of wins. Queen g7.
King. Okay, so king h. No, not king h4.
Why not?
Queen
Queen.
e7.
No, queen e7, king h3. No, this is actually
Looks winning, no?
quite tricky. Maybe it's fine.
So queen
He's still thinking. So he hasn't actually taken the draw yet.
No, but maybe queen d6.
Also queen d6. Yeah, I wasn't. I wasn't really sure what we're playing after queen d6 either. Maybe bishop e3 check. No, I think he's taking the draw now. Yeah.
And Fabi lost the game in the meantime. Ding's queen did cause more havoc. And Fabi resigned. So Ding takes the lead in their match. And let's stay here. We've seen some head shaking from Nepomniachtchi, but I'm not sure if this is his. I can't believe the Patzer escaped with a draw, or I can't believe I'm actually lost. No, draw, agreed. Maxime went for the perpetual.
Is that MVL's chair, or is that a close-up of him over the computer wearing grey pants?
That's the chair.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so Tanya's h4 bishop f6 is completely winning. I decided that I'm too curious to wait much longer. So Tanya actually spotted the only thing that was winning in that position, and everything else is a draw after king g5.
Oh,
h4,
wow.
king h4, bishop f6 wins on the spot, and nothing else does. So we already knew that was really a brilliant spot by Tanya, but now we have computer confirmation.
Well done. Nice.
So if you go back on h4, if you go back, then are you just playing bishop e5?
Yeah, you can't go to. You can never go to the 6th. You have to go forward. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's maybe do a little recap of the action, or at least the finish in the Ding game, because we missed it, although it was fairly winning already. Fabi did what he could, but the queen. Ooh. Bishop d5, if taken, queen h6. It's checkmate. So rook e6 to cover f7, but that looks desperate. And
yeah, but it does look like most moves will be Most moves that aren't an immediate blunder should win, and that definitely suffices.
Caruana had seen enough. King G7. How do we do it? I guess just Bishop E6.
I think Queen E6. I think that's exactly the point. He doesn't even want to give him Rook H1 check options.
E6 covers all the squares, and then mate shall follow.
Not even spite checks, even though Rook H1 wasn't really a threat all that much.
Yep. Any brief break, Lawrence? Any promotions? Any tales from your use? What's going on?
Let's talk about that. So today there is a special promotion. It's 50% off the 1E4 complete repertoire for white by Grandmaster Jon Ludwig Hammer, where if you use the code Invitational, you can get 50% off. But do better than that. Be smart. Be economical. Save your money. Be shrewd. And get a Chess24 premium membership where you'll not only be able to watch that series, but you'll be able to watch the hundreds of hours of videos already on the site by the likes of Peter Svidler, Jan Gustafsson, and many others. And you get 40% off by typing in the code, I was going to say hashtag stay at home. It's not hashtag, it's just stay at home. So you can get that, and obviously, you know, Jon Ludwig's course is one of the many fantastic, in-depth, comprehensive repertoire courses on there. Over 7 hours of video by Jon Ludwig Hammer. If you don't know who he is, shame on you. He's one of Norway's best ever players. Has helped Magnus out tons over the years, and it's also a series that is pretty much aimed at everybody, those starting out or those who have got more experience. And 1E4 has been my weapon of choice since I started, and for many years was Peter Svidler's preferred weapon of choice, although of course Peter, being the super duper grandmaster he is, can play everything. But for sure, even at the top level, there are still some guys that are more exclusively, not exclusively, but certainly play 1E4 a lot more than D4 and vice versa. So well worth watching if you're a hardcore E4 player. And remember, not just that, get yourselves over to Chessable. We've got some brand new courses there. Get yourselves downloading the Play Magnus apps, both the trainer and the Tactics Frenzy apps. And make sure also, if all of you guys, well, probably this doesn't relate to you guys in Twitch chat or Chess24 chat, because you'll seemingly know the answers. But for anybody else watching, if you are looking to improve your chess, then get yourselves over to cochess.com, where you can actually sign up to the waiting list there. It's going to be a new platform for coaches and students. So if you're in need of improving your game, and I'm not saying that you know, this is for everybody, but if you are serious about improving your chess, then you might need a coach, and coachess.com will be the place for you to go. So there are the offers for today. And also remember, there's something I haven't spoken about, the fantasy contests. Every day we've got some fantastic fantasy competitions, both a daily competition and a tournament competition. If you become a premium member on Chess24, you get greater prizes available to you, greater. For example, you can win, you can see it there in the graphic, I won't go through all of it. So become premium and prizes will be more substantial. Nevertheless, you can see there fantasy chess, and you go to chess24.com/MCI fantasy for this particular tournament. Lots of cool prizes to be won. And at the half, I was going to say at the half, at the 3/4 point with 1 game to go, it is 2-1 in both matches. MVL beating Nepomniachtchi 2-1 and Ding beating Fabi 2-1. I have to say, it's going with my picks so far. I picked MVL and I picked Ding. I felt like these were unpleasant pairings for both of these guys. Nevertheless, there's still a game to go. Anything can happen. Tanya, with 1 game left, can you see Fabi coming back? Can you see Nepomniachtchi after a very disappointing game there? He, as Peter confirmed, he checked with the engine and your suggestion was winning. So will that be too heartbreaking for him? Will he be able to bounce back?
I think it's been a tough match for Jan from the start, and yeah, I don't think Fabi as well was. There's not been like a convincing position for Fabi as well. I actually think that neither of the games are going to go into the Armageddon. I think it's going to be hard for either of them to come back. I think Ding's playing really, really well today. He's in form, and Fabi's struggling. Like, I loved how Ding handled this last game with the idea with Rook F4 and trapping the queen, even though he did have this chance with D4 earlier, which Fabi did not go for, but I think Ding played really well. And yeah, Maxim's just seemed like he's been in control since game 1 of the whole match, actually. Despite the slight what happened in the last game, but I still feel that Maxim's been the better player today.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Maxim has been, for the most part, very, very convincing. Yeah, he looked as though he lost control in that last match. Very unusual for him to do that, actually, especially in such a reasonably simple position, actually, for Maxim to, and there were various ways he could have secured that advantage. So, but with White, you know, only needing a draw, feel as though he should do the business. And Fabi, he's got the white pieces against Ding, so this is going to be the big question. Is Ding going to play Sicilian again? Or
I think
nah. See, he did this in round 1. He's going to revert back to his E5 stuff here. Mark my words. He's a shrewd businessman, is Mr. Ding.
Berlin incoming.
Yeah, he's going to play a Berlin, or he's going to play his Marshall, and he's going to really make Fabiano like uncork something very special.
Sasha, what odds are you giving on Fabiano coming back?
Oh, Sasha, yeah, let's have a contest today, because we had a push yesterday.
Yeah, but it's a bit tough because one guy is playing white and another is playing black.
I'll let you have a Ding Sicilian for 2-1.
What?
I will give you 2-1 for a Ding Sicilian. I'm saying he won't play the Sicilian.
He will not play the Sicilian. Yes. But I have a question to you. Do you expect French line of French defense in MVL game, or Pierce, or something else?
I expect the French. I'll take the French. And
the French line of French defense. Do you know what is it?
Of course. Which line are you talking about? The one that we've been analyzing? The winner
French line of French defense.
I've never heard that. The exchange, or what's the French line?
Yeah, of course, EG5, because at some point whole France started playing it. I am not sure who was the pioneer, maybe Etienne, maybe Laurent, but it's like whole France started playing the exchange. French.
Okay, I don't think he'll play the exchange.
What nice advantage it has, that it's like an ultra economic preparation, because at the same time you prepare for Petrov.
Petrov, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Magnus also wanted to do this for a while. He played this against Fabi.
Yeah.
Magnus even played 1 E3 trying to get to that position.
Okay, so...
And we have liftoff in the Caruana Ding Liren game. To everyone's surprise, no Sicilian is played.
Shocker.
The Berlin, who would have thought? In the other game, though, Sicilian is being played.
Oh, Jan did try the Sicilian. Interesting. Okay.
I would have bet on 1 G6.
MVL says, no. I wonder if he goes bishop a4 here.
He should. It's a beautiful move.
Well, it's a move. He goes c3 instead, and...
This reminds me of the game's Fiddler Trent from the Bundesliga, 2016. Queen e2. Ah, bishop d3. Okay.
Yeah, he goes for a slightly different bishop d3 variant compared to the usual castles a6 bishop d3. Yeah, curious. And in general, I always felt that the lines with g6 offer white slightly bigger chances for advantage. But the problem with the mainline theory with a6, and probably Sasha will violently disagree with me, is that there are a lot of forced draws there available to white if he wants it. And MVL, considering the match situation, should quite clearly want it. So Jan going for something that perhaps isn't as strictly equalizing as those other lines, but keeping every piece on the board does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, sure it does.
This is not his game against Anish.
Maybe it is, yeah, where Anish said, I want to
E6,
dedicate
knight
this
G5.
victory.
Yeah.
I want to dedicate this victory to my friend, the personal computer.
Not sure it was this exact position, but it was very similar to this, like knight C7, knight H7.
Probably wasn't this
check.
position because I feel like the knight was on B8 because here you go knight F6 and he went rook F6.
Yeah. Ah, no, it was DC5 included. No, it was this. And I think you go DC
exactly,
and his trick was here. He went for this, but it still didn't work.
Yep. Anish's friend, the personal computer, too strong.
But honestly, it's not an impossible line to calculate even without
I agree.
a computer.
Anyway, they played differently, more positional. No E5 business. Maxim went D5.
D5 is an interesting option because, as indicated by Jan's immediate reply of rook E8, if Black gets some kind of an E6 break early on, he will be instantly completely fine. But MVL, of course, has his play against the B5 pawn ready to go. The problem for White, if it's a problem, is that B5.
White is something very nice and very concrete, then it's a fantastic outcome of the opening for Black, no?
Yeah, I think so. Before knight H5 played instantly by Jan. Yeah, Jan is really not planning to stop anytime soon. He is just a machine. Bishop B3, and now we can play E6 if we want, I guess. My question would be, couldn't we play E6 on the previous move as well? But Jan would need to think for 20 seconds for us to even have a chance of discussing it.
Might be 6 played.
Yeah, I don't quite understand what's happening here. What are we doing after knight bg2?
Knight takes a4 or not?
No, I think he probably plays e6 anyway. How is this good?
Maybe immediately 6 there was taken knight g5 and take d6. That was the...
Maybe, yeah. So he
You're
does
right.
play e6 now.
E6, yeah.
But now White should be able to find a way to stabilize.
D
rook e6. Yeah, I'm looking at some forcing variations, but actually there are no threats, so I don't know if MVL even needs to do anything dramatic. It's just a normal position. We can take on b5, take on a8, play bishop d3, for instance. Remind Black once again that there is this pawn on b5 that we would like to pick up.
Yeah, but just bishop c6. I mean,
I'm not saying it's some kind of earth-shattering development, but I think just generally keeping at least one piece trained on the b5 pawn is useful.
I want Jan to go to 20 minutes in one of his games. He just needs to play 30 moves instantly for that.
Yeah, that math checks out. Yeah.
Rook takes a8, queen takes a8. He recaptures, and bishop b3 played by Monsieur Maxime.
Yeah, with the queen on a8 in particular, this becomes a very attractive option, hoping to get some e5 play in, or knight g5. Like if rook e8, I guess. Yeah, I think it might be just very pleasant for White now because there is no easy way to reply to this. Rook e7, e5, I suspect is quite annoying. And after rook e8, actually e5 could still be quite annoying, but there's also knight g5, queen f3, all these kind of things.
And Jan is actually thinking, ugh.
Yeah.
How dare he?
Not allowed. Goes rook e7. Actually, after e5, we can go bishop takes e5, bishop takes c5, dc, and then c4. So it's not as strong as I thought.
Don't we have other moves? Bishop g5 does nothing, yeah?
I don't know about nothing. Maybe it's an interesting option here. Because the black pieces are somewhat in the wrong corner of the board right now, but we need to be fast, clearly. And once again, none of this is forced. You can make other moves here as well.
Let's say it's black to move. Let's say we play h3. What's black's reply?
Yeah, good question. My initial reaction was, of course, knight f6, but that actually threatens e5 like 10 times. So,
Yeah.
So we cannot do that.
Maxim's gonna be just fine. He's gonna win this match. What's in the other one? Caruana versus Ding. Some typical Berlin moving around.
Interesting. This knight on h6. Not clear at all that this is actually favorable for white.
Sasha, you're a connoisseur of all these Berlin Rossolimo structures. Who's better and why?
I don't know. I actually very rarely played with white. I almost never played this d3, bishop c5, bishop takes c6. Because, you know, after playing Rossolimo for many years, I cannot, you know, look at white position without tears, because it's just so much worse than Rossolimo for white. So
that means Berlin is a way better opening than Sveshnikov, eh?
In this regard, definitely. There are other lines as well, yeah. Like this position with rook on h6, knight on f5, white has knight on g5. The position I spent half of my candidates tournament in. It's not as fun.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to help me. How do you get here?
At least we got probably the best sound bite of the candidates tournament from that. The request for board games in the players' lounge.
But I think it was during Maxim's game against Kirill.
Yeah, but that was second. Like without your game, that wouldn't have happened. One game in a row, I think he would be okay. But when it was done to him twice in 2 days, he kind of snapped.
h3, knight back to d7.
Probably a good move.
Is knight f1 a move? I think it would be very good, but queen a6 probably still holds everything together. Because I mean, I'd be very happy trading e4 for d6 here, but I don't think I get the chance. And he just goes back to c2.
But now black is not worse at all.
Yeah, maybe even slightly better, arguably. Knight hf6, and I guess white is still fine because it's very difficult to put pressure on the e4 pawn without allowing it to be traded for the d6 pawn. But yeah, it's now very comfortable for black.
I don't know, maybe transfer the queen to c6. I don't know. I mean, black has everything so nice, it's hard to improve his position.
You played h6.
Yeah. Kind of reinforces my point about knight f1, actually. He went queen a1, which is also a very sensible idea. Offer a queen trade. If black doesn't trade queens, we can play queen a5, start kind of bothering him a little bit. That makes perfect sense, actually. I like this move.
Maxim's got this. And he's also not exactly been slow. He still has like 12 minutes, which looks little compared to Jan's 14, but it's not desperate time trouble.
Yeah, rook e8.
Ah.
Just about to ask if you can afford trading the queens, if you need to win, but
I think he didn't really have a better choice, so.
No, but it still looks very nice for black.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
How's Fabi doing? Fabi, you need to win this one.
Yeah, Fabi in desperate need, and Ding putting on a bit of a clinic at the moment. It feels as though he's just completely in control here as black. I mean, maybe it's just me, but what if we just go h5, knight h2, and I don't know, some move on the queen side, c5. Why are we not just better here with black?
Here maybe h4 you get, no?
Maybe.
Knight f4 played by Ding. I like the new Ding, playing Najdorf, playing
I
Berlin, as if he's played those his whole life.
I love it.
Yeah.
Can white now prepare the e3 square for the knight, or?
Yeah, I also thought we need to react by playing something like bishop d2, because we would much rather play knight g4 e3 than knight g4 h2 when h5 comes, and h5 I think always comes.
It was a very weird move, knight f4. I would play either h5 or maybe b5 has some merit.
I've been thinking about b5 as well for a while, because
b5. Wow.
Yeah, just maybe open the b file, put the rooks there. Yeah.
But mostly just deny the e3 square for the knights. You can play b5, h5, and then knight is very unlikely to ever come. Maybe b5 you have bishop d2.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
But at least you see in their game you can discuss things, you know, you can talk about some ideas and so on. And that's why, for example, Jan, which NBA team do you think is the most, how to say, pleasant to watch?
Like stylistically or from a star power perspective?
Just stylistically.
That's a tough question. I enjoy watching Toronto, even this season, without Kawhi. But I'm not sure they're all very similar these days. No, it's not like you have different systems that much.
No, because for me, the most enjoyable by far is Houston.
Oof, I hate Houston.
You're never in a hurry. You can drink coffee and watch. Harden will just, dribble for 15 seconds without doing anything, and then play his isolation,
Oof. I mean, I respect how great they are, and shout out to Russell Westbrook and so on, but I can't watch it. It's just... Okay. Anyway, we're losing viewers.
They're the least enjoyable, but for me, actually, they're the most, because, you understand everything that is going on.
Yeah. In the meantime, Jan, I think, is much better suddenly. Well, maybe not suddenly, but he is definitely a decent chunk better now. Do we play g5 here? I think we do. He decides not to, but I would probably...
You didn't even manage to finish your phrase, and he already played another.
Yeah, of course, yeah. That's not a surprise, but...
Actually, serious question for Alexander. Nepomniachtchi now is 14.5 minutes. It's moved 29. Is that higher than your average or lower in a classical game?
I guess it's higher.
Probably, no? Like, I wasn't sure.
Of course.
So,
but
literally spent no time.
Classical game, 15 minutes for 11 moves. It means you have another 5.5 minutes from the increment. So it means you are 20 minutes for 11 moves. That's amazing.
Luxury.
I would be going for smoke after each move.
Yeah. Smoking is bad, though.
But MVL is getting outplayed here somewhat, no? Still, he's tenacious. He'll hang in there.
Well, he's tenacious, but he's like, I think objectively he should be more or less completely busted here.
Oof. Why? Why is it so bad?
I don't know. They just the general passivity of your like knight e5 and then move the knight from d4 away, force you to play b3. And then you can never actually smoke out this rook on a2, and then some more bad things will start happening to you.
Or is it tougher to smoke in than to smoke out?
Yeah. I do think it's a genuine plan, and I think, you know, making sure that the rook on a2 stays should be priority number one here for black, which is why I like this direct approach. But maybe knight e5, knight c1. Maybe this is why he's hesitating, because he's actually, the rook actually gets driven away. Then it's, at the very least, what I was suggesting is not as great. Yeah, what Maxim has going for him here is obviously that the position is so incredibly close that it's going to be difficult to make progress, but strategically white is not doing well.
So he transferred his knight from e6 to c6. It's like in a famous Russian book and movie, it was this phrase that Grandmaster, I'm so much impressed by your idea.
Yeah, that's I think that's the correct quote, and we have lost another portion of our audience with this, but it is the correct quote, and it is very funny in the context.
Which book is that, Lawrence?
No idea.
Me neither.
Ostap Bender by Ilf and Petrov.
Oh, I've heard of Ostap Bender. He's a lazy guy on the couch or something?
No, that's
Oblomov.
That's Oblomov, yeah.
Sorry. Who's Ostap Bender again? What's some IM's handle on ICC?
He's a confidence trickster.
Sounds familiar. Caruana Ding.
Can someone explain this knight c6, f4, knight d4 to the world?
We've provoked f4, and now the e4 pawn arguably might be weak in some positions, I guess. But mainly, I think the knight really didn't belong on c6, and he corrected the. And yeah, and king f2, I think, is a blunder, and Jan instantly spots it. Knight f6, and now after bishop takes d4, I think knight takes c4 wins on the spot. So
if he's gonna spot it, he's gonna spot it instantly, no?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think king f2 was potentially a very big mistake here by MVL.
Jan looks very happy.
A chance for Jan Nepomniachtchi at the death. Can he do it?
If he wins this game, they're going to Armageddon, which means white gets 5 minutes, black gets 4 minutes. White has to win the game.
So wait, the only way to like defend this pawn is to go e5 here, right?
e5, knight e4 check anyway, and maybe king e1 here, and hope this somehow, because at least we're creating counterplay against the c5 pawn this way. Yeah, he's done this already. Yeah, that is the only shot he has.
King e1.
It feels to me.
But why is it even bad?
Maybe it isn't. I don't know.
It looks scary.
DEFE played. I don't know. Our position is now a lot less interconnected. Like even knight e6 here looks quite attractive, but maybe it's not the.
Knight b3 maybe.
You still have moves to attack. Yeah, I thought I was securing the pawn on c5, but I'm not. Yeah, maybe I overestimated how strong this is. I still feel it was probably missed, but Maxim did find a regrouping in time. Yeah, and if you don't lose immediately, you have created counterplay, so you obviously welcome these developments. The pawn on c5 now is a definite target you can play against. Knight e6 played, and yeah, Sasha's knight b3 I like quite a bit. Knight b3, and if bishop f8, we can maybe have enough time to even play bishop f3, although I'm not sure about that. There's knight c3 jumps you need to calculate.
Nice.
But even rook a1.
Yeah, rook a1. Rook a1 is very clever. Just get those rooks off, return the knight back to b3, and then play against the c5 pawn. I guess black plays
the business.
Yeah, Maxim is back in some sort of control here. Yeah.
How's Fabi doing? Fabi still in business? Looks like.
He's in business?
I don't know.
I don't know. He sacrificed a pawn here to have this this play, but Ding seems to be unimpressed. Ding just played GH3, which completely ignores seemingly the very strong threat of bishop takes f4. So bishop f4, I guess he just goes EF. We take with the rook. HG, king takes g2. What's the plan here?
Check.
Ah, just queen. Yeah, queen d5 check, of course. Yeah, and black is a pawn up, and if anybody is playing along the g file, it's probably going to be black.
Should have 4 played.
No, EF.
No, E4, queen take h3.
Yeah, queen takes h3, of course. Yeah. Why did I play rook f4 here is unclear.
This happened.
Yeah, and after queen h3, white probably is better.
Also happened. Takes,
Fabi.
takes.
Bishop c5, bishop c5, rook takes f4. It's not maybe too much, but it's definitely very pleasant for white.
C5 played. If rook f4, I guess some rook to e8, yeah?
Yeah, there's maybe some argument to go king g2, king f3 first.
A rook f4 played. Fabi, by the way, also still with a lot of time, if clocks are correct here.
Yeah.
Side note, Maxime has traded the rooks with rook a1. But I'm just wondering, like 3 moves ago, we were all very happy with black's position, and Jan looked like he had created a lot of chances. So where did black really go wrong? Because now I think white's not doing so bad anymore.
Yeah.
We all loved black's position like 5 moves ago or something, no?
Peter,
Yeah,
we
for
trusted
me,
you.
The point was when he didn't play. You're talking about which game? Fabiano's or?
No,
Maxime.
Maxime. Okay, I mean, when I was impressed by his transfer of the knight from e6 to c6, for me it was kind of strange. But maybe it never was so bad for white. I mean, at least you needed to be very precise. But also what? Now Maxime is lost again, or what?
I don't know, because I think I think this is a trap. I think he now says I have this threat of h3, h4, and there is no defense. I also was about to interrupt this discussion to say that black is now back to being completely winning, and then I realized Maxime doesn't blunder pawns. Maxime did this on purpose. And I honestly don't see.
So strong. I mean, there is no way. There is bishop g7, some h4, take e5, hg.
Yeah, this exists, but I have a feeling white should be able to survive this somehow, right?
Or
no, hg probably, or hg knight g5. I don't know.
Also bishop e4, take
gf, yeah.
Bishop c1, yeah.
Bishop c1 is very, yeah. Bishop c5, bishop b2, black is.
b3. And I want bishop e6 and c4.
Jan went for something else though. He played knight g3, just creating squares for his knights. And Maxime replied with bishop f2. And if knight 5 e4, he takes on g3 and goes king f2. And the knight is caught. But we have g6, g5 in that position.
These
black
knights
probably...
are very similar to their earlier game where
it is. Yeah, it seems like a theme, yeah? No, hang on, king f2, bishop g7 just wins, yeah.
This happened.
Probably.
Looks like black is winning, no?
Bishop g7.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's down to 12 minutes. It's still... You must have mixed feelings about having to think all that time.
Wow.
Well, you have to take and play king f3, but you are not saving that position, I assume. After you can even include g5 to make sure the knight goes to some bad squares, and then you take on b2, and I assume those 2 pawns queen eventually.
All of this.
There's also b3 right now. You can play b3 right now and take on b2 next move.
b3 kind of forces some bishop f1, maybe.
Yeah, and we're not sure we're winning there. Maybe we aren't. Yeah, it's kind of surprising, but this might actually force white to make a very strong move. Yeah, bishop f1, knight takes b3, and I don't know if we can keep the c5 pawn alive because c4 knight g2.
A very nice line.
So Jan is now, the good thing about his previous speed of play is now he has like a game and a half time left to choose between g5, b3, and bishop takes b2.
So what's going on after g5?
Well, you force the knight to go to e2. I thought that making sure it doesn't land on d3 might be important, but I don't know if it's actually that important or not.
And then you just take on b2?
Take on b2, knight c2, we can go, and he did play b3, and
MVL
instantly goes bishop f1. I guess the way to keep the c5 pawn alive would be to take on f1 and just play bishop e5, d6. It needs to stay on c5, because on c5, I don't think white can attack it comfortably. Just bishop d6 here, knight d2, we go bishop b5, we transfer it over to d6. Has to be close to a technically winning position, but of course, knights still jump, so.
They're tricky pieces, aren't they? Especially in the quick time controls. What about the Fabiano position? I've been looking at it for a while, and he's definitely got the better of things now with this pawn on f5 as a clear target.
He's definitely slightly better, but I don't know if it's enough.
But how do we actually defend here as black? I mean, do we ever take on e3 so quickly? Probably not.
Yeah, I would prefer not to, but it's awkward otherwise. Otherwise, you have to play rook e5, white plays rook g1, and you are pushed into some awkward setups.
Yeah, rook e5, rook g1.
Even bishop g7, a move I think none of us knew existed. Wants to play bishop h6 next move.
And if knight...
Rook f5 runs into rook e3, and if knight e5, then bishop e5.
Bishop e5, yeah.
Yes.
That's very clever. That is very clever.
Wow.
Hang on a second. If we go rook g1 right now, bishop h6, rook h4.
And I go f4?
It's extremely committal. Like, if it doesn't lose, it might be very strong, but...
Knight g2 or something? No.
Yeah, this has all been played, so now we will find out what Fabi thinks about this. Because f4, let's say knight d5, your only move is rook e5, but it might be strong enough. It might just be good enough, but it's extremely committal, and you're also starting to give up material, because for instance, I can take on c7.
Rook e5, knight c7.
Yeah, I really don't know how to assess this.
Bishop g5 in that position, or not? Because you play bishop g5, rook h5, king g6, rook g5 in the end.
Yeah, rook g5 is a 4. I was also trying to calculate it, but I didn't see rook takes g5 in the end.
Nice spot. Very nice spot. Very, very nice. Very cool.
I'm surprised that Fabi looks sleepier than Ding, even though for Fabi it's like noon and for Ding it's past midnight.
Depends if you're a night owl or if you're an early bird.
Mm-hmm. You're more of an early bird, right?
No, I'm more of a...
He's a bloke.
I'm a noche sava.
Yeah, I think after knight c7, they've already proceeded all the way to knight takes c7. I think we probably include something like rook f6 or rook f7 exactly. And now we probably are threatening bishop g5. Oh, no. With the rook on f6, there will be rook h8 in the end. So we aren't threatening anything. The knight can just start on its way to e4, like knight b5, knight c3, knight e4. And I mean, the rook is still going to be stuck even after all that. So I don't know.
Maybe after knight. maybe after knight b5, there's an option to go rook g6, because now if you take like your rook on h4 is really weird, no?
Ah, yeah, rook g6 is rook g6 is a very clever idea.
Yeah, rook g6.
And he replies even to c3 with rook g6, which is.
Yeah, I think that's his idea. Rook f6 was to go here and just to take with the king. Now your rook on h4 is just so ugly. Maybe you've got to go c4 and knight d5 and try and win this f4 pawn somewhere.
Yeah, I like that.
That was an interesting option, but trying to go for the d4 push is also quite sensible, I feel. Now that the rook is not on the g file, I was wondering if black has enough time to play something like rook c6 followed by king g6 and then bishop g5. But after king g6, white will always have rook g1 check back,
but then he'll have bishop g5, king h6.
Yeah, so rook c6 played, white goes knight b5. Let's see what Ding thinks about this position. It will be quite something. It will be quite something if both of these matches actually go to Armageddon with people winning on demand in game 4.
Rook e5. So I think you're right, because if king g6, rook g1, bishop g5 was not possible because f4 hangs.
Yeah,
so
rook takes f4, exactly.
Okay.
But Fabi even includes d4 for the time being because he feels that starting his own play is a lot more important. CD, CD, and now after rook d5, there's even king e4. Because it's you actually shift those rooks and then you start pushing d6, and the d pawn might actually become a very important factor here.
Yeah, take the horse.
Rook c3 or
I don't know. Yeah.
King e4.
Not going anywhere.
Bishop g5, rook g1, king h6.
And you can take
And now rook takes f4, I think, probably. To make sure your king is still on h6, and then I start pushing the d pawn. I think my d pawn probably will be more important than everything else here, with the king completely cut off on the h file.
He does.
He does go for it.
Oh wow!
Wow.
He does go for it. Probably nothing else really seemed like it was working.
Yep, this position is on the board.
Yeah, you can take on f4 straight away, but I feel like cutting the king off along the h file has to be a useful thing for white, even if it seemingly burns a couple of tempi.
Yeah, no, I like rook g1 first.
Yeah, king h6. Yeah.
All played. Looks like we're in for not one but two Armageddons indeed. That'd be
wow.
Extremely likely, yeah, and that's quite something considering how difficult it is to win on demand. And Jan is also doing it with the black pieces, which is
unheard of. Well, not unheard of, literally, but happens very rarely. Have we planned for this? If there's two Armageddons, do we stagger them? I guess they shouldn't be at the same time, right? I'm just not sure what the rules are.
Yeah, I don't know how that works out either. Is there a chance MVL now holds this after h4? Probably not. Yeah, probably white is always going to be too slow.
So Ding was just about to win. He made a huge blunder. Yeah.
How?
Just put his position instead of check. Instead of rook c3 check, he could play rook f6.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Whoa.
You're defending against rook g1, rook f4. And now you just want to go bishop g5.
Rook g1, king h6, and we pick up a full rook.
Oh,
Whoa.
wow.
That matters.
Can I go d5? And am I probably not in time for anything? Yeah.
There's rook f8 in the end. Yeah.
Yes. Wow. So d6.
That is quite something. Yeah.
Nice.
So now what's going on? d5, a4.
Well, I assume white is like very much ahead here in the race. d6. I don't think it's particularly close even.
Yeah.
Poor Ding. Yeah, he doesn't look happy.
Crazy.
Who do you think is the favorite in an Armageddon between these two?
Flip. I'd take Fabi, actually, I think, in an Armageddon. Also, psychology, you know, being so close for Ding to winning this match.
The psychology of the individual, as Jeeves would say.
I think that's...
It's because you know Fabi so well. Would he, in an Armageddon, pick white or black?
It's a good question, actually. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I guess he'll choose black. Because I think he thinks he's quite quick. So I guess he'll choose black, if I had to guess.
But judging by his shirt, he's not very good at picking, no?
Picking colors.
Exactly.
And Jan seems to just be winning by force now, because h3, king g3 comes in, and you can't stop the pawn from queening.
Can't stop the feeling that into.
From thinking we're going to get no Armageddons to getting 2.
2 Armageddons. Incredible.
Now h3, knight e5 check, king h4, knight f3 check, though. How do we win? By force?
Question mark?
Question mark.
What, when, why?
Very...
Knight e5 check here.
Uh-huh.
So...
Because you'd be kind of advised here to win as early as possible, because if white establishes some kind of a blockade, it might become a lot trickier. Like if you imagine the pawn on b6, white will be able to start offering light piece trades, and that would be a problem. He went f4. Can we play b5 now?
But now I've got h3, because now knight e5, king f5, right?
Knight f3? Ah, the king is still in. Yeah, the king is still in control. Yeah, you're right.
And then I just trade and get my king to the other side.
Exactly. Yeah, you're just in time with the king march.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, Nepomniachtchi.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool. Very.
Yep. Looks like game over.
Both games look like game over, because the d-pawn also queens for Fabi, so we are going to get to Armageddons.
Double whammy. 95 check, king f5, and I guess...
Well, we go back to d3, yeah, but... You still need some precision.
Bishop e4. Jan does not need more than a split second there. Knight c5.
h3, king
now you can push, no?
and I guess just f3, yeah? f3 wins.
Here come the pawns. Yep.
b5. Hang on, because there are forks. Yeah, both h2 and
f2
f2
doesn't
run.
win yet. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's hang on a second.
Where you move the bishop,
has he made a mistake? Is this a draw now?
But if you move the bishop that on the long diagonal, knight d3 is a draw.
Ah, knight d3 is coming.
Is this a draw now?
Nah. King f4. We win.
King f4. Is that a win?
I'm not
b6
sure,
f2 check. It is a win. Yeah, b6 f2 check. Good spot.
I'm just avoiding the fork up.
No, what I meant is knight takes e4, and white actually queens the b pawn, but black queens his pawn with mate.
Let me show them lines very briefly.
So king f4, can I go king h2? King 8, no.
f2?
Sorry, go on. I wanted to go b7 after f2.
It's on b5 yet, so...
Oh.
You're confusing me. What went where?
Jan, of course. This is where This is where having 6 minutes is actually useful.
Yeah, he's played king f4.
He was able to not panic, and now he wins. And no, I mean the critical line is knight takes e4, but it's also easy.
b6, f2 played, king takes f2, and h2 will happen. b7 we take, knight e4, h1, so it's resignable.
And they both win. Incredible.
That was amazing. What a comeback.
They both force the Armageddon. That is quite something.
That is.
Which will start in, I guess, between 10 and 15 minutes from now.
I hope they won't play simultaneously because it would be too much action to follow, but I do not know. I will try to find out. For now, both matches end with 2-2, which means none of the players will get the full 3 points you get for a victory without overtime, but they will go into the Armageddon game. Whoever wins the Armageddon game gets 2 points. The loser still gets 1 point for this match. As for the process for this Armageddon, now there will be a drawing of lots. We have to have the players pick a color. White gets 5 minutes and has to win. Black gets 4 minutes and gets draw odds. That means black wins with the black victory and with a draw. So I'm sure right now there are Zoom calls, Skype calls, whatever it is, with this drawing of lots being determined. And I'm not sure if the rules planned for 2 Armageddons at the same time, if these games will get staggered or how it's going to go.
Wow.
Exciting stuff, isn't it? Who you got? I've got Fabi. I've got Fabi under all circumstances, and I've got. Yeah, I'm going to go with the momentum. I'm a momentum guy. I'm going to go with Jan and Fabi.
And much as the excitement is palpable in Lawrence's voice when he talks about Fabi's chances, I think considering how closely the candidates race is, if and when that restarts, and how poor Jan's overall score against MVL has been, I understand this is not classical, but still, this will both leave a scar for MVL and also give a lot of confidence to Jan going forward. I feel in his fights with MVL, because winning a game on demand with the black pieces, that is something both of them will remember.
Explain in chess. What are the statistics? White usually scores like 54%, something like that?
Between 54 and 55, yes.
But at the highest levels, white is such an advantage because you can more or less play it very safe. And if black has to win on demand, he has to take great risks, right?
Yeah, but I think what is, like, compared to games with only 2 results, which is sort of most games, the 55% statistic is somewhat misleading because it doesn't take into the account the situations where a draw is as good as a win. And
isn't that all situations?
Not sure if serious, but I was attempting to make a valid point there in that it's not as if white wins 55 games out of 100 and loses 45. It's more like white wins 10, and there's a or perhaps, I don't know, wins 10, loses 2, and the rest are drawn, and that makes it a very, very low percentage of a black. It's not as low as 2%, of course, but it's a very low percentage of black actually winning, in particular at the highest levels. So Jan doing it on demand, even if it's a faster time control, where of course the statistics are nowhere near as draw heavy, it's still a very impressive fit.
And I get some intel here. Fabi, I guess, won the drawing of lots he could choose, and he picked the white pieces, while MVL.
That's incorrect. That's incorrect. Caruana.
Vachier-Lagrave. also could pick, and he picked black.
No.
Go.
Jan, I got information that Fabi picked black.
Oh, yeah, it's got, yeah. Maybe I can't read. Fabi picked the black pieces, and MVL picked the white pieces. So.
Interesting.
What does that say? Caruana trusts himself to make a draw with the black pieces. Well, MVL is saying, you know what? I will just crush his French.
And of course, what this does mean is because the maximum they can win from this is 2 points, that Magnus Carlsen actually will be in the lead regardless. He'll be joined with somebody, but he will be leading the tournament because there was a chance for at least 3 of these guys to actually be on full points after today, had they won in regular time, but they didn't. And now it's up to one of these guys to try and at least join Magnus in the lead. 5 minutes for white, 4 minutes for black. Draw odds for black. I'm always of the opinion that you got to. I would always take black. I've never been in an Armageddon, but I would just always take black. First and foremost, because I play poorly with both colors. But secondly, I just feel like having that extra result, it means a lot. I don't know. And if you can be relatively quick as well, I don't know. Sasha, do you have an opinion on
I was always taking white, basically.
Interesting.
As I said, I'm not sure it's preferable, but that's what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember in the Armageddon, Sasha and I played for the World Blitz Championship in which year was that? 06 or something, yeah?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I won the coin flip and I chose black, and Sasha looked at me and said we could have just completely ignored that part because I guess we were always going to play with those colors.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and I believe they're getting the boards set up just so it's all clear. And remember, guys, we have got some offers today. We've got the Jon Ludwig Hammer series on 1E4 available on chess24.com. If you're a premium member already, then you're a very smart person and you can already gain access to that series. If not, then you can buy that series on its own by using the code Invitational, but much more clever would be the option to purchase a full Chess24 premium membership that would give you access to all of the videos, hundreds of hours of training videos and series and repertoires and everything else on the site. So my advice, get the 40% discount off a Chess24 premium membership. Use the code Stay at Home to be able to do that. And remember to check out Chessable, Code Chess, Magnus Trainer, everything. It's all there for you, chess lovers. Now,
Tactics Frenzy. I enjoy my Tactics Frenzy.
Tactics Frenzy is particularly good because it gets very, very tricky. So even if you're
these Dutch kids are too good though. They ruined it. Jordan and Casper.
They're very competitive and they're very good. But if you want to improve your tactics, get the tactics.
All right. MVL with, as we say in the business, the white pieces, has to win, has more time. Hopefully we get the times correctly because last time we had this glitch which confused everybody where, yeah, the times were displayed the other way around here. But this time, let's see what happens. I'm also still unsure if the games will start at the same time or if they are being staggered, because I don't know. It looks like the Ding game is already ongoing. Whoa. So let's jump right into that. Ding with the white pieces, 5 minutes versus 4, has to defeat Fabiano Caruana they are playing a very solid line yet again.
Wow, super solid.
Here we are.
Incredible.
Even I would say it's a little bit remarkable that Ding feels that even in an absolutely must-win game, he should still be playing the symmetrical G3 Grunfeld. But I guess it's just what he plays these days, so no reason to deviate.
A leopard cannot change his spots, but what's going on now? Queen B3, can we take on A4? Do you take on B7 then?
Yeah, I think we do. I think it got a lot sharper the way they played it, and Fabi does sacrifice this pawn. There's often some compensation in positions like this, but this particular one, Queen B2, Queen D2, I think this is absolute best case scenario. Or even Ding for now postpones the retreat with the queen and goes Rook FB1 first. It looks like Fabi has done something wrong potentially.
Pawn up.
Yeah, Bishop B4 is a move you could consider. Knight E5 maybe is even a move you could consider. But there's also still the Queen B2, Queen G2. It's still very much on the menu for white. Seems like just a reasonably healthy extra pawn by move 15, which is not something you see every
Bishop
day.
B4. Fabi's already kicking himself for choosing the black pieces. Queen E6, E3. Ding stabilizes.
I will, however, continue to bring up this Armageddon I played against Sasha. Bishop takes E7 just wins on the spot, right?
He didn't spot it. He went Queen E1.
Yeah. I also blundered a pawn by move 10 in that game against Sasha, and then came basically within one move of saving it. So it doesn't condemn you to this scrap heap just yet.
Queen D7.
Yeah. Takes A3 or Knight B3. Yeah, I would have probably preferred to keep the position as contained as possible, but
Yeah, Bishop C3 is still very contained. No?
maybe even takes Bishop C3. But yeah,
Oh,
Knight
that's
takes
what he goes
E5.
for.
Knight takes E5 is of course the move to go here.
I didn't like DE. No, so many jumps now. Still fine, probably.
Then again, like if white doesn't allow anything immediately, he will be a lot more strategically winning. But I agree with your point. I think white probably could have had things more under control. Yeah, this is now a mess because we cannot play Knight D4, B1 is hanging, and
Yeah, counterplay.
Rook G1. Already it feels like maybe black can win back some material. But maybe the back rank problems don't allow black to do that just yet. I guess you just play something like H5 here and you continue. Yeah, and this is what he does. Make sure that the back rank is not a problem. White is still better, of course, but Rook A3, I would have played. I understand not allowing H4, but allowing Rook A3 is also a bit of a problem because now Rook B8 A8 is a huge threat. You cannot afford to lose the pawn on A2. I think it might depend on whether you can play Bishop B4 or not.
Wow.
Because I honestly don't see another way to comfortably protect. Yeah, what he's doing, I think, doesn't work tactically. Rook 8, Rook C2, Bishop D3.
Ding's bungled it.
He's bungled it.
And now we can go back and...
It's a momentum game. I said it from the start. Chess is just a momentum game.
Knight B3 is a kind of a sad necessity, and...
Oh, wow.
We have 5 back. It's tough now.
It is genuinely difficult to convert this now. Although he did find a way to consolidate, at least for the time being. But yeah, this is a very important tactic because Bishop takes G7, right? Ah, he even takes on C3.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
That's very clever by Fabi, and now A2 seemingly is just indefensible. And Knight D4, Queen takes D1 would be a nice way to go home instantly.
Let's go home. Queen B2 played. Rook A2.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Fabi does the trick, does the business, and the other game is kicking off. MVL with the white pieces.
French line of French defense.
Your French is happening, even though it was via the Petrov.
Maybe they were listening, Sasha.
Yeah, and Sasha actually is one of the architects of the popularity of this, because he
had this against Wang Hao, no?
Yeah, very nice position against Hao in the candidates. But I think Jan is. I'm very surprised he didn't play CD4 knight before there. I would have done that in a heartbeat.
And now E5 is very good, I think.
Ah, that's the point.
Or CD4 and E5. You cannot play like this with white.
Oof, Maxime.
Now you can take E5 and bishop F4 and you win. So no, bishop F4, queen F4. Yeah. You cannot play like this with white.
Oof.
Wow.
That's real knowledge, ladies and gentlemen.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and Jan, once again, it does feel like probably this one he knew.
For sure. It rises from the French. That's a strange choice by Maxime, especially with this French situation.
Yeah, it's a very, very non-obvious idea by Maxime. And now I guess knight g4 just wins material, yeah. Knight g4 and game pretty much over.
No, I think he just mixed up the lines. I think that's the main reason.
Okay, 3. D4 or no, D4
we can take on E3 first and then
D4 later here.
Yeah, Black is completely winning and only needs a draw, so.
It's a momentum game. I'll say it again. Jan the last, Fabi winning the last makes a big difference. The other guy's so close.
Ding Liren was very close to beating Fabiano Caruana, but after allowing some counterplay, Fabiano won that match. And here, Maxime doesn't even continue after knight f5. He says, enough is enough. Jan Nepomniachtchi makes a comeback, wins on demand with the black pieces, and then wins the Armageddon, where Maxime has seen enough here. Whoa.
Yeah, congratulations to the winner. And it's a bit strange. We had, 3 Armageddons, up to now?
Yes.
Yeah, 3 with,
And only one was somewhat tense, the Ding Liren Caruana one. The 2 was just completely abrupt. I mean, it was like almost no games.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the Nakamura Carlsen game was mildly interesting at some point, and then Hikaru just, I think, misplayed quite badly.
And Black was better trying to win in all 3 of them now.
Yeah, Black is 3 out of 3 for now.
They're ruining my theory that White has a big advantage.
Yeah.
So where does that leave us? What happened today? Maxime looked like he was cruising to victory in that match, and he went on to lose it.
Incredible. And Fabi,
what a comeback!
Great comeback. And
hi guys, I've been in on the call for like a few minutes, and I'm not sure if
Fabi, well done. It looked ropey at some moment. It looked a bit touch and go. What was the key?
In the last game or in general?
In general, you were a point down and you needed.
I mean, the third game was very interesting, but of course, it was kind of poorly played, I guess, by both of us. I mean, H5 was a bit of a strange move. I wasn't sure if I should trap my queen like this, but okay, this game I think was kind of correct. It is a bit of a miracle in the end. But he
doesn't need to go into the pawn.
Yeah,
right?
He didn't know it needed to do that. He also had like F3, King F4, King G3 at some point. There are multiple ways to draw. He had to go for the pawn ending. I thought this was an interesting game overall. Yeah, I guess it's just a draw. It is
just a draw, yeah.
And yeah, the third game was quite poorly played, I think. I mean, I could have played D4 the move before, or after F5.
No, you could have taken on F5 with a knight, and you're actually better.
Yeah, this is what I realized later, that I have D4 and Rook C2, and
spotted by Lawrence, which will cheer you up even further.
You got to know your overload tactics, guys. Yep.
No, this was a strange moment. I also had plenty of time. I just, for some reason, missed that the Rook on H4 is hanging in that end. I saw this Rook C2 idea, but didn't really. But my head was kind of cloudy. But at least I managed to create some chances from a worse position.
Yeah, well done. You're resilient. That's why you are as great as you are. So actually with that win, Fabi, you've effectively won 2 matches, even though not full points, because you only get 2. So you're at the top of the tree at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, this match was really tough.
How
it was a really big hurdle to come over.
How important is this tournament actually for you? Let's be honest, because you've played World Championship finals, obviously playing the candidates. You've played all the big events, but how do you actually rank this in terms of, you know, a tournament you really want to win?
Well, it's a bit hard to. It's just strange because on the one hand, I do have half of the candidates tournament coming up,
right?
Which is kind of an unprecedented situation. Mm-hmm. But it's also unclear when it will happen, and this is also the only tournament that I do have for a long time, and it is also a tournament with many, if not most, of the best players in the world. So I do take it seriously, and I really would like to do very well.
We were speculating about this earlier. You also don't have any idea when the candidate tournament resumes, if it resumes, right?
Or I assume it will resume. I just don't know when.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's anyone's guess at this point.
So, Fabiano, I hate to bring this up, but I've been talking so much trash about it all day that it would probably reach you eventually. What's with this shirt? You've had this shirt for years and years and years. It keeps coming back. Is it your lucky shirt or something? Like,
no, this shirt is comfortable. it's kind of loose fitting, and I don't I have like very much more tight fitted shirts, and when I'm at home I don't really want to wear them.
Okay. I like all your other shirts. That one I will always keep talking trash, but I know it will keep coming back. So.
You're not the only one. I've heard it from so many people. But
I think I told you this 4 years ago that I hated that shirt as well.
Well, everyone has told me they hate it.
Anyway, in spite of the shirt, congratulations.
I'm with you, Fabi. I think it's perfectly fine.
Thanks, Peter.
Fabi, we were also talking about how you're playing at 9 in the morning and Ding is playing at 10 at night. How is it to play early morning games? It's not something that you're probably very used to, no?
Yeah, this is unusual. I was pretty groggy. I usually start out like the first game pretty groggy, but then I start to get into it. But the nice thing is that I do have pretty much all day. And today it's actually kind of helpful because now I have another match coming up tomorrow. I don't have a break.
Oh, you don't have the break.
This much I know. So it's nice to have the extra time today to prepare.
Who you play tomorrow? Well-known player?
Somewhat well-known. Magnus. I don't know if you heard of him.
Exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess we'll let you get some rest, get some prep in. It's been quite an intense session. Well done.
Thank you.
And we're excited about tomorrow. So good luck, and hopefully speak to you after the match tomorrow.
All right. Nice. See you guys.
Thanks, Fabi. All right, and we're now joined by Jan Nepomniachtchi. Jan, congratulations on a great comeback, actually, because at some point it looked kind of touch and go, but you fought like a lion in game 4, and then this Armageddon game, I mean,
at least it was smooth. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Armageddon game was incredibly smooth. So this idea with E5 clearly must be.
I mean, I was first of all, good evening, yeah, and well, I mean, I was surprised he didn't know this idea because it's just very obvious. I think it's just like the key idea for the line. The rest, of course, white will be better for nothing. But in many positions, I mean, this idea appears to be the only but decent and just enough. I mean, to win some space and to trade some pieces. So I mean, and of course, when he also blundered on E3, this was like this came as a shock. But clearly, white is not fighting for advantage after E5. So white should be one who cares about the draw.
Absolutely. And actually with that victory as well, you you lost the first, so you're back in it. You're still in the mix. Lots of games to go. Who have you got in the next round?
No idea.
Oh, no? Okay.
I will check the pairings tonight, I think, but
because you've definitely got a day off tomorrow. If Fabi's playing, yeah, so you've got the day off tomorrow.
Yeah, I think I have very nice.
You've got Anish.
Let's say very nice schedules here. I play and then I play and rest, and it's always like enough time to think about my mistakes. Yeah.
How do you manage to play so quickly in that last rapid game against Maxim? You had like 15 minutes after 30 moves. Is it on purpose to stay ahead on the clock, or just comes natural to you? How do you do it?
Well, the problem today, I finally found out what's wrong with me in this tournament, so I'm playing this like 3+2.
Right.
So, okay, my opponent sometimes can think and like it will be 15+10 or at least something like this, and I keep playing 3+2 until I get into trouble. And then it's most likely no difference what am I doing, because it's already too bad. Yeah, so I mean, I was simply outnumbered in the game one. Because, I mean, in general, I think white was winning right after the opening, yeah? So I play something like rook a2 c1 instead of rook e6, a couple of natural moves.
Right.
So I'm not pretending this is very clever, but yeah, I could play just rook e6 here or rook a2 c1. And the trick is after rook a2 c1, queen d7. Queen c6 works anyway, I think. I mean, rook takes c6, pardon, rook takes c6. And it's just complete collapse for black. Yeah, so everything is falling down.
How's it go? Queen c6, bishop
yeah, so bishop e7 and bishop takes f6, I think, is the most simple way to
bishop e7, knight e7. I think we go rook e7. I think that's the point.
Ah.
Yeah. Rook e7, yeah, pardon. Yeah, sure. But I mean, in general, this is very bad. It looks like very bad. And instead of this, I just played one awful move, second awful move, and a third awful move. So at least after rook b3, I could try like queen b1, and this is still unclear, I think. So white shouldn't be worse in terms of the rapid game, because okay, somehow I win the a pawn, and this is, I mean, very, very difficult for, let's say, for black to make moves at some point. And okay, of course, black should be more or less able to hold here by this moment. But I mean, okay, instead of, okay, I'm not claiming rook a2 c1 is obvious, but okay, just play rook e6, rook e1, and okay, you can just, only thing you can do is win, actually. Yes, yeah? Right. At least you can never lose this position. So you grab the e6 pawn later and so on, rook e6, rook e1, and then you think. But instead of this, what I did, I mean, was a shame, and I was very tilted after this game. So it was like a flashback from my previous match when I was like winning in 2 games, and in the last game I was like better for nothing, and I managed even to lose. And then, okay, I believe that the thing which helped me is that Maxim also was playing 3+2.
How is it for you? You're one of the co-leaders in the candidates tournament, which will continue at some point. Are you worried to show like your preparation in this tournament?
Well, everyone thinks that my preparation is dumb. So after I played Winawer, so I mean, at least I'm not worried to show Winawer anymore.
Fair enough.
All right. Well,
hang on, I have to ask my Caruana question, because we were speculating earlier that Jan might be one of the more outgoing players on the field, and that maybe you're more affected by having to stay at home. Is that theory true?
Well, I mean, it's hard to focus when you are looking and you only see the screen in front of you, and no opponent, no board, and I don't think it affects me in the worst way than anybody else. But I mean, of course.
All right, congratulations on the comeback, win on demand with the black pieces.
Great comeback.
Jan Nepomniachtchi, best of luck in the tournament.
All right, guys. Well, I think that is pretty much it for today. It's been a day of action and drama, and especially some very admirable comebacks. Fabiano Caruana, you know, he looked in big trouble. Even in the 4th game of normal time, didn't look like he had a lot to work with, managed to magic it up, and then managed to easily come through in the Armageddon. And Jan Nepomniachtchi also just digging in deep in the 4th game, managing to win, showing he can be extremely accurate despite playing very quickly, and then blowing MVL out of the water. And MVL got up in really, there was an expression of disgust on his face, actually, when he left his chair. He couldn't believe that he just played like that with white, and probably was just angry with himself for not knowing this idea. And with all of that said, it means that Magnus Carlsen and Fabiano Caruana are leading the tournament on 5 points each. Hikaru, Nakamura, MVL, and Ding all on 4. Of course, they get a bonus point for going to Armageddon. Jan Nepomniachtchi on 2, and Ali Reza and Anish Giri both with 0 points. They'll be looking to bounce back ASAP. Still a long way to go. This is just round 2. Tons more days, tons more action, and I cannot wait. Tomorrow is the big one. Fabiano Caruana playing Magnus Carlsen, world number 1 against world number 2, a repeat of the 2018 World Championship Finals. Magnus is going to be a big, big favorite on paper, but Fabi, he's showing he can mix it up. He's resilient. Is he going to be a stern test for the world champion tomorrow? We'll soon see. And then we've got, for me, I have to say, I've been waiting for this matchup for the whole event. Hikaru Nakamura against Ali Reza. This for me is going to be absolutely amazing.
This is your Super Bowl, right? Hikaru, Ali Reza.
This is my 49ers against whoever it is going to be next season. It is going to be absolutely lit. There's going to be pieces flying all over the place, tactics, combinations. It's going to be an absolute joy to analyze, and I cannot wait.
Let's translate for Peter. This is your England versus India test match.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it is, exactly. It's going to be...
Who's India?
So we're all going to be back tomorrow, right? If I understand correctly. All 3?
Maybe even earlier tomorrow. There's also the Anish Giri Banter Blitz at 2 p.m. Central European Standard Time, so 2 hours before the round start. Then we might kick off our pre-game show even earlier tomorrow. There's going to be so much chess. Then Magnus Carlsen against Fabiano Caruana is, for everybody but Lawrence Trent, the main event tomorrow. Thank you so much, Tanya, for joining the show. Thanks, Peter, for coming back.
Tomorrow is a very exciting day, but I have to say today was an absolute treat as well. I mean, how it started, I was so happy with my picks of Ding and Maxime, and then we were not only treated to very exciting and enterprising and smashing chess in the first few rounds, but also the 2 Armageddons, and quite a comeback day that was, and looking forward to tomorrow now.
Let's all catch a breather. Yeah, that was way too much drama. See you all tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for watching. That's it. Lawrence,
yes.
40% off with the voucher code Stay at Home. Is that still valid? Chess24.com?
It certainly is. Before you go, remember, guys, 40% off with Stay at Home for a Chess24 Premium membership. Alternatively, 50% off Hammers, 1 E4 repertoire with the code Invitational. But much better is to get the Chess24 Premium membership because, again, you know, even tomorrow before the round starts, you want to play Anish Giri, got to be a premium member. Go and get that done. We'll see you all tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Hang on a second. You are now getting your wish, yeah, Alexander? Rook d2, rook b8 play, and after king h7 he will play queen g4.
Okay. Maybe he won.
Oh wow! What? Is that it?
Did he miss that? I see a tiny head shake there.
Goodness me!
It's more than a tiny head shake. I think maybe Magnus thought queen f1 check wins here, but after rook g2 there is no more checks.
Oh my goodness!
Queen g6 is
That's it.
a massive threat.
Bishop g5 doesn't help.
Bishop g5 doesn't help, and yeah, it looks like he just threw it away.
Done.
Wow! Incredible!
That's
Fantastic swindler.
Fantastic. He is a brilliant swindler as well. So this is the broadcast tool here, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see in all its glory. You can see the notation. You can also see the engine evaluation next to each move, and also how long they spend.
What I like is you can make your own moves on the board. You can check the alternatives to what the players did. And even for the moves you make, you get the computer evaluation here.
Fantastic.
I think you get it quicker and better as a premium member, such as yours truly. What I also like, there is a chat function. You can exchange things with people from all over the world. If you want to see something else, let's say you're watching a tournament and you want to see all the games at once, no problem displaying. I have no idea how many games there are, like 128 games at the same time. Can do even more. This is a team competition. You click on multi-board.
That's beautiful.
You can see all the 8 games going on at once.
You can see the games and standings, which I...
What we got? I'll click around. Games and standings here.
Yeah. Analysis, if we click on that tab,
Let's click on it.
You can see that it's a great little graphical illustration. The red line is 0, that is the absolute even mark. And if the white bars go up, the further up they go, the bigger the advantage. And the black bars show a black advantage.
Then there is a database, and here we get the alternatives. And if we click on a move in the database, bam, it gets played on the board.
Fantastic. And then the PGN can even be downloaded.
I like that feature.
Yeah.
Whatever tournament or game you're following, you click it and you open it in the program of your choice.
Yeah, and one of the great things I like to see as well is when we get a video from the playing. I like to see them in their seats, nervous. You feel the tension, you feel like you're there, don't you?
Chess is really becoming is spectators' internet sport.
Great that we can see that. And I also love to see the fact that we can get in some of our friends to join us during the broadcast. And it's all interactive, that's what we love. And
a lot of overview functions there.
A lot of great functions there, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you take advantage of all of them. Let's get back to the commentary.
Keep tweeting us, hashtag C24Live. We love to hear from you. Ask us anything, mainly about Lawrence life, but if you have other questions, they're also welcome.
Also send us anything you like about Jan. Hashtag C24Live.
Absolutely.
It's time to take control of your journey towards chess mastery. Magnus Carlsen introduces Chessable, the definitive solution for studying chess. Move Trainer uses the science of spaced repetition to identify your strengths and eliminate your weaknesses. There's no need to set up a board, remember which page you're on, or keep track of all the moves you miss. Move Trainer empowers you to go from the opening to the endgame with confidence. It's a seamless, effective, and fun way to study chess. Choose from one of the largest online chess libraries in the world, with hundreds of titles ranging from classic books through to our exclusive Chessable courses, including over 100 free courses. Get expert insights from International Master John Bartholomew, Grandmaster Sam Shankland, International Master Christoph Sulecki, Grandmaster Simon Williams, World Champion Magnus Carlsen, and hundreds of other instructors. Get started now and join our growing community of over 100,000 chess enthusiasts at chessable.com. Chessable, take control of your journey towards chess mastery.